World Bowl 10. The Rheinstadion here in Dusseldorf, packed to the rafters. Officially, this place holds 55,000. There's got to be over 50,000 in here, and the rest. It really is a remarkable scene here. The loudest I've ever known it, that's for sure. We're just getting ready for the coin toss. Boris Becker, the tennis legend, is down there under a baking sun to do the coin toss. The Rhein Fire have won the toss. What an atmosphere, Sean.
It definitely has been, and what has been amazing for me in my trip here is just how popular the sport of American football has really become. In their effort to make this truly a global game, they've really succeeded. And they have fans all over the place. You see Boris Becker in the coin toss, a big football fan, and I think they're doing a great job in terms of spreading this game across the world.
Well, Peter Vaas and the Berlin Thunder are the defending champions. They will make history if they win, because no team has ever successfully defended the World Bowl. But the Rhein Fire, they too have a chance at history. If they win today, they will win a World Bowl for the third time. As we see Todd Husak, the Berlin Thunder quarterback, T. Martin, his counterpart for the Rhein Fire. So much pressure on these shoulders. And talk about pressure, nothing was ever bigger than this. Adam Vinatieri to win the Super Bowl for the New England Patriots. He, of course, proved what he could do here in Amsterdam in 1996. He went on to the Super Bowl. So many players have come out of this league and gone on to the big league and made an impact, haven't they?
Yeah, and that is the purpose of this league. It's truly a developmental league. The game is so big in the U.S., and so many players don't get an opportunity to play the game, that when you get a chance over here in the World League to show what you can do, all the eyes are on you. You really have to make a showing here just to prove that you belong playing in the big leagues in the United States. It's an excellent stage, though, to show what you're able to do.
An excellent stage for everybody. Kickers, punters, special teamers, quarterbacks. If you can do it, this league will prove it. Danny Boyd, allocated here from the New York Jets, will kick off. The return men are lethal. Jordan Younger to the right. Corey Alston to the left. And it's a squib kick to start World Bowl 10, and it's fielded at the 33-yard line, and a bit of razzle-dazzle. Alston is eventually down at the 28-yard line. And I think the Thunder are very aware of how dangerous the Fire are on kickoff returns. They've returned 3 for a touchdown. They weren't going to get it in the hands of Alston. So T. Martin, allocated here from the Pittsburgh Steelers, walks out slowly and purposefully, having had what has to be a quiet season, just over 1,000 yards, but no team runs the ball more than the Rhein Fire.
Yeah, there's a contrast here with T. Martin and Todd Husak. Husak put up tremendous numbers this year. T. Martin not getting as many opportunities to throw the ball, but this guy's a winner. And when you have a winner playing, anything can happen.
Mark Thomas goes in motion, and they're going to throw on first down, and it's to the big tight end who picks up first down yardage. 12 yards pushed out of bounds by Keith Adams. So they come out throwing. That's a bit of a surprise. Let's look at this big offensive line. Dustin Croker, Al Jackson, Dustin Keith, Mike Milano, and Josh Moore. They're the guys that open up the holes for the running backs. Jimmy Robinson, Scott Cloman, and Onome Ojo to wideouts. Mark Thomas, who made that catch, the tight end. Jamal Robertson, who's had such a tremendous year, gets the start in the backfield. And it's first down and 10 at the 44-yard line. Cloman is the motion man. Martin will throw again. Pressure comes. He's hit as he throws, and it's intercepted. And Onte Jones picks it up, a man who's only been with the Thunder for 2 weeks. And the first big play of World Bowl 10 goes to the Thunder defense.
And Nick, it doesn't matter what level you're playing at. Big plays are going to make a determination on who wins and who loses a football game. Missouri makes a nice move inside and just get a whack on the quarterback. My goodness, it doesn't make a difference what level you're playing at. If you get a hit like that, you're about to toss it up. You're going to see Missouri again. Nice step inside, just a whip on him, and he gets a nice hit on T. Martin. T. Martin, the ball just wobbles up there and it's intercepted.
Missouri allocated here from the Cowboys. And Onte Jones, who was playing his football in Frankfurt till a couple of weeks ago, till injuries bit. This secondary for the Berlin Thunder decimated by injuries. So what can Todd Husak do on first down? He goes to Anthony White, this so productive running back who was cut in camp by the Berlin Thunder. And when they got injuries to a couple of other guys, in he came. Here's another look at interception. Oh,
that's gotta hurt. That's a heck of a hit, and you can't take too many of those hits. As Al Davis says for the Raiders, the quarterback must go down and go down often. Obviously, they're picking that up early in this game.
Second and short at the 40-yard line. Berlin looking to capitalize on that early turnover. Cusack on the ground to right. White's got a big hole inside, and he'll pick up another 14 yards. Anthony White got 197 yards last week against the Frankfurt Galaxy. And on that evidence, it's going to be a productive afternoon for him here as well.
Yeah, White, like you mentioned earlier, Nick, came into this thing with a chip on his shoulder, but meshed so well with Cusack and the other guys on the team, knowing that Cusack is a leader. They embraced him, and because of that, he's been an integral part of the success of this offense.
First down at the 28-yard line. The Thunder in their regular 3 wide receiver set. Cusack will throw, and that was almost picked off. Jamel Smith had it in his hands, could have had an interception, but couldn't hang on. So let's take a look at this Berlin Thunder offense. Let's meet the big guys up front. Freddie Moore, Josh Warner, Ben Hamilton, who's been a real star in this league. Derek Chambers and Darnell Alford. Kenny Christian, Dane Looker and Ramondo North get the start out wide. Jeff Kostreva is the tight end. Anthony White, who was cut in camp, who was on the practice squad of the Frankfurt Galaxy, then came back to Berlin, is in the backfield. Second down and 10. They show blitz the fire. The swing pass is to Dane Looker, and Looker won't get much. Brought down almost immediately by the busy Tim Johnson, the outside linebacker, who leads NFL Europe in tackles.
Third down.
Defensively for the Rhein Fire, they play a base 4-3. Humphrey, Miller, Claybrooks and Klein Hesselink are the defensive line. The linebackers Jamel Smith and Tim Johnson flank Mao Tuiteli. And a terrific secondary sees Cedric Donaldson and Earthwin Moreland on the corners. Deke Cooper and Greg Brown are the safeties. Cooper named Defensive Player of the League this year. Third and long, Berlin. On the ground, Anthony White is stuffed by Tim Johnson. No gain. In fact, they'll lose 3, and that's a big defensive stand there for the Rhein Fire.
It's a big stand for the Rhein Fire and an excellent play of playing downhill by the linebacker Johnson. So much when you hear so much about running the football downhill, well, linebackers, they have to do the same thing, running through plays and making a definitive move to the line of scrimmage and not dilly-dallying around back there, Nick.
Danny Boyd's long this season is 47. This is 48. It's on its way. Is it accurate? It is, and the Berlin Thunder are in front. A 48-yard field goal from Danny Boyd following the interception. So we've had the first score of World Bowl 10 here at the Rheinstadion. It's gone in favor of the defending champions, the Berlin Thunder, following the interception by that man right there, Onte Jones, number 25.
Yeah, Berlin very opportunistic on the interception, but great pressure so far by Berlin.
Another one of those squib kicks, but now it is in the hands of Alston, and they drag him down. Dwayne Stooks got him from behind. They know they've got to watch Alston, because he has ripped off 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. Alston stopped there at the 25-yard line. So defensively for the Berlin Thunder, Dwayne Missouri, who had that hit, Cecil Caldwell, Cleveland Pinckney and Big Bill Duff up front. The linebackers, the fastest group in the league, Keith Adams, Jonathan Jackson, and the former Green Bay Packer, Jude Waddy. And the secondary, hit by injuries, Ahmad Hawkins, Onte Jones, Sam Young and Dwayne Stooks. And Martin puts it up in the air, and it hangs and dies and goes nowhere, looking in the general direction of Akihito Amaya, but that wasn't going to be caught any time today.
You know, it looked like he was just throwing the ball away, because the tendency of the Rhein Fire has been all season to run the football. And when every team comes in to play a game, they look at the tendency and say, what are you going to do against this? Well, what they did in the first series was entire tendency breaker. They just went to the passing game instead of the running game.
Yeah, certainly not what we expected from the Fire. There's Thomas in motion again. Now they go on the ground. And Jamal Robertson runs into a whole bunch of trouble and will probably be stopped at the line of scrimmage. The Thunder sniffed that one out. And that's going to be 3rd down and long. And this Fire offense making a very slow start.
Well, you go into the game to stop their #1 player, which is Jamal Robertson. And what you do, if you're Berlin's defense, is try to get as much penetration as you can upfield. When you're doing that, it causes the runner to have to bounce around back there, thus giving your other guys an opportunity to rally around and make a tackle. You cannot bring down Robinson just on one-on-one trying to tackle him. So you have to get as many guys around him. They call it gang tackling. They try to get as many guys around him as possible.
Robertson out of the lineup. Ojo is in the backfield with 4 wide receivers. Martin will throw on 3rd down. Now he steps up and he'll take off and look for the 1st down himself. And the man from the Pittsburgh Steelers is brought up short, and that ball bounced out of there. And he's short by a yard, and from where they're spotting that, it's a long yard as well. Martin saw his options covered and just took off, and he's shaken up.
He's a little wobbly on that. You're going to see here in the replay, because T. Martin should know better than this. No problem with tucking the ball down, but slide. The slide rule is in effect here in NFL. Europe, they use it in the NFL. Quarterback has to learn to get down because that rule is in place to protect him.
And it was Onte Jones once again on the hit. This guy's having a game. He's shaken up as well.
What people talk about when they talk about Jones is the collision he brings when he brings a hit on you, and that play was reminiscent of what he's been doing all season. You'd hate to see, this early in the game, you have 2 impact players on both sides at the quarterback position. T. Martin with his ability to run the ball. You see Romaro Miller warming up there, but Martin with his ability to run the ball and Husak with his arm, and you'd hate to see a team lose an opportunity because they lose their quarterback so early. Let's hope it's not too bad.
Yeah, he's still down. It's not looking good. Romaro Miller had extensive playing time in Scotland, did not impress against that very good Scottish defense, and they gave him quite a workout last week as well. They gave him 3/4 of the game, which the Fire lost against Amsterdam. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Showed some good things, but eventually just sort of self-destructed against Scotland, and T. Martin is up and walking, which is good news.
It's always a good sign when you can get up and walk off on your own power. What I would like to see, though, what I like to find out is when he dropped his shoulder to absorb that hit, was there any damage to his shoulder at all? But it's good to see that T. Martin was able to get up and get off of the field on his own power.
We'll bring you a report on Martin when we have it. Meanwhile, Dirk Johnson is on the field to punt, and Dane Looker waits at his own 25-yard line. Johnson gets off a high kick that Looker fields at the 25, and the coverage was then a flag comes in. The ball hanging there. Johnson's done a great job with his hang time this year. There was nowhere for Looker to go, and let's see what this flag is all about with our referee Walt Anderson, and it goes against the Thunder for a hold. Well, he was in the Super Bowl. I don't think Walt has ever seen an atmosphere quite like this World Bowl. Meanwhile, T is still trying to shake the cobwebs out of there.
Yeah, well, you have that look. That's that look when you need to have some inhaler or something just behind you, someone just shaking you up a little bit, throw some ice water in your face. I've had that a couple times, unfortunately.
Holding. Berlin, number 35. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down, Berlin.
It's Patrice Cancel, the French running back. Here's his number called. So we're going to take a quick timeout with the Thunder with the early lead here in World Bowl 10. (3-0) Berlin over the Rhein Fire in the early stages of World Bowl 10. And let's take another look at that hit that Onte Jones laid on T. Martin.
And if you ever wondered if they're hitting a day, they're hitting a day. And sometimes it takes you a little while to figure out what the hitting level is going to be.
T is feeling how I felt watching England against Brazil yesterday.
Yeah, well,
that's painful.
That's more painful than you think. That's one of those when you wake up the next morning, you kind of collapse just thinking about it. Kind of like you're right. Kind of like Germany beating USA and Britain getting their butts kicked.
Yeah, it was a bad day for us yesterday. Now then, on the ground, Anthony White looking to turn the corner. Nothing doing. He is strung out. And the Rhein Fire, #1, defending the run and showing just why on that play.
Yeah, active front. You have Humphreys, you have Miller, you have McKenzie. Those guys do a very good job of just scattering around. If you look at them just singularly, just individually, may not be the most talented bunch, but collectively as a unit, they play very strong, technique pure football.
Couple of yards for White. Second down and 8. They'll throw, and they find Ivan Mercer, one of 2 tight ends that they will rotate in and out regularly. They've both got good hands. The tackle made by Cedric Donaldson.
Here you go, Todd. Todd, your left, M23, excuse me, M25, naked. Left, M25, naked.
They come out with M25 naked.
On three,
The quarterback's going to go away from all his blocking.
Ready?
That's something you would see T. Martin doing, but in the last couple of weeks they've used the naked a little bit more with Husak.
Jules Heckenbach in the lineup, the German wide receiver on 3rd and short. There goes the naked. There's the roll. There's the first down. Looker once again. Pushed out of bounds eventually by Earthwind Moorland, but first down Berlin.
Now, if you're Ryan, you better know where Dane Looker is, because that's his so-called go-to guy, the guy who gives him that comfort zone. You're going to see Looker that just gives a great acting job there in the slot, just making it look like the play was going away from him. When he sucks the defender in, then he runs his pass route, which they call a shoot, just shooting as far to the sideline as possible. And then Husak doing a good job of getting the ball to him.
The ball at the 34-yard line. The sun coming out. It really is a hot afternoon in Dusseldorf. Husak, and there was contact there, but no flag. He was looking for Kenny Christian, who just got himself tangled up there with Adrian Sadler, inadvertently, said the officials. Christian wearing a visor today, as you can see there, after getting hit in the eye in training by a football.
Yeah, he was a game day decision because of the eye injury, and walked around all week with a patch on his eye and dark sunglasses. You'll see him wearing the dark shades to protect that eye. But a very productive receiver for them this year. They have 3 receivers in the top 10 in receptions in NFL Europe.
Second down and 10 on the ground. Here's White. And White making some yardage and running into his own man. I think he ran into his big tight end, Jeff Kostriwa, who couldn't get out of the way. And White making 12 yards before Jamel Smith brings him down. What a story, though, Anthony White. He was cut in camp, and then he went on Frankfurt's practice squad, and then they lost Walter James, Mukala Sikiala. They brought him in. Since he's been with the team, after going 0-3, they're 6-1. And Peter Vass, who's big enough to admit, he just said, hey, we got it wrong in camp. We didn't make the right decision right then, and Anthony White has shown what he's capable of.
Yeah.
White 80. White 80.
Heckenbach is the motion man. They'll throw again to Looker. Looker tackled by Deke Cooper after a 3-yard gain.
The last couple of weeks, what people have been doing against Dane Looker is that they've been playing him kind of like a basketball box in one. In other words, they'll play press coverage against him. That means you have a man right in his face, and before you know it, even if he gets past the man that's in his face, they've got zone behind him. That means they have 3 guys just covering area behind him, and it really frustrated them. Ryan has come out today and just said, we're just going to play our regular defense and just treat him as another man on the field.
Well, you saw there 15 catches in 2 games against the Fire for Looker, and there's White keeping his balance and spinning his way forward for 5 yards when other backs would have gone down for no gain, and that's going to bring up 3rd and a couple.
Now, when you look at the defense, you're always talking about the guys up front. But I tell you what makes this Ryan defense go. It's actually the defensive backfield. The guys, they have, they have all the ability and all the size in the world. They're big, big defensive backs and very mobile. What I love the most about them, they communicate at an all-pro level. In other words, in the league, defensive backers have to communicate all the time just so you know where the other guy is on the field. They do a very good job of doing that.
There was movement at the line of scrimmage. Big Devone Claybrooks. And the play continues. They were looking for Dane Looker, but big number 91 might hear his number here.
Yeah, and he's talking about doing a very good job of something. That's what Husak does very well, is draw people off sides. I don't know what it is about quarterbacks in that Denver system.
They all do it. Yeah.
They do it very well, starting with John Elway. I saw one time he went on 7 and jumped us offside.
Offside. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. First down.
In fact, it's called against big Brandon Miller, the other inside guy.
It's funny, people always marvel at defensive linemen. How could you jump off sides when the ball is right there? Well, I'm telling you, as a defensive lineman that played for 13 years, it's very easy because you get into a lull of the game. And then when you hear a hut, hop, it's very easy to jump you off sides. Like, you're not used to that cadence. And then when you get it, it's very easy to jump.
I don't believe you ever jumped offside,
A bunch of times. I got a lot of coaches that'll tell you the same, too.
First down at the 41. 4 wide receivers in for Berlin. Husak Over the middle again, and he's got Looker, and Looker's inside the 20 and looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Berlin.
Woo! Wow.
41 yards. And Bob Bicknell, the offensive coordinator, going crazy on the sideline.
Goodness.
And there were some great blocks, as you say. Kenny Christian, who says he loves to block, through a beauty. 41 yards.
You're going to see a lot of different things on this play, though. You're going to see Husak that does a very good job of avoiding the rush after Anthony White misses a block. Then Looker hauling the ball in, then Christian just lowering the boom and knocking a guy out coming across the middle.
Axel Kreuzer, the German former soccer player, tacks on his 76th consecutive extra point. And the defending champions have made a statement early here. They're up 10-0.
So I may be asking you.
10-0, the Berlin Thunder over the Rhein Fire. Dane Looker's 41-yard interception, but he got a lot of help down there as well.
Yeah, you'll see Looker here in the slot doing a very good job of running a nice zone route, running away from his man. And then you'll see the block by Christian. Talking to him this week, he says, you know what? I love blocking. Reminds me a lot of Webster Slaughter, a guy that was just a tough guy, but he knocked out Cedric Donaldson, who was trying to come across, making a play. If Christian doesn't make that block, you don't know if he gets into the end zone. And that's a big part of teamwork that you see in American football, where guys, you saw, Husak making the pass, Looker hauling the ball in, and then Christian just doing a heck of a job on that block.
Dane Looker going back to try and get a job with the Rams. As we look at the return men, Alston and Younger. Kenny Christian going back to hope for a job with the Bears, and the Bears will notice a receiver downfield who can block like that.
Right, you'll see them. They've been squibbing the ball all day because they know that these two guys back there are dangerous. 1-4 in all of NFL Europe in kickoff returns, but it still gets to him this time, Nick.
Yeah, it's Alston. And Alston will drag himself all the way to the 36-yard line before Bubba Alexander stops him. So the Rhein Fire with some work to do.
Say that again? You know what I'm talking about? I know you're ready to go kill somebody. Be smart. Come on, we got to speed it up. Easy. Time out. I got to pay a lot of bills for this TV time, man.
It's one of the things Sean Jones loves about this league, that some of these coaches and players wear microphones. T. Martin happily restored to health. He's wearing a mic.
Yeah, you get your nose blooded a little bit, as T. Martin found out, but it's good to see him back in the game.
And they need some offense. They need a drive. And they go with Tony Taylor, who will pick up maybe a yard, no more than that. 6 offensive plays so far. They've had a turnover. They've had their quarterback's bell rung as well, and they've got nothing going early here. In 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. They need to establish a drive.
Well, there are a couple things going on right now. T. Martin has to find a way to reel this ball game back in his favor. That means they're going to have to start running the ball. They can't allow the quarterback to get knocked out, as you can see in the replay. Start running the ball more. Take control back of the ball game by running the ball.
And here they go. Taylor once again, and Taylor breaking free from tacklers, then getting clobbered in the secondary, but picking up 8 yards. Dwayne Stukes, the safety man, came up, and they were in a 2 tight end formation, which Pete Kuharczyk was saying he wants to be in that as much as possible and just run out of it. He says if we're in the 2 tight end formation, things are going okay.
Well, they'll definitely run. I mean, the tendency for them to run the ball out of the two tight end set is just a giveaway. But the good thing about them is that with the offensive line that they have there, okay, especially on the left side with Jackson, they can run with anyone back there, as you just saw in that last play with Taylor getting some good yards.
Third down, Taylor slips, reverses his field, gets away from Missouri and gets the first down. An important play for the Rhein Fire. Tony Taylor may just have ignited this offense.
You know, how prophetic. We're just talking about how the offensive line is doing such a very good job. You know, when you talk about Jamal Robertson, the success that he's had. Now look at Taylor, the success he's having. But, you know, he does this one on his own. The play is to go to the right side. He sees it open up. In fact, you can hear T. Martin yelling, cut back, cut back, cut back, helping his running back out. He cuts the ball back for some good yards.
Now they're going to ask Taylor to do a lot of work, and that was never going to happen. Dwayne Stukes, who was beaten on the last play, not beaten this time. And they'll lose 4 yards.
Yeah, he's going to come up and force, and I said it once, and I'll say it a million times. The best friend a defensive lineman can have in a running game is a defensive back that'll come up for you and force the ball. By forcing the ball, I mean when he sees that it is a play to your side, he comes up and makes a hit for you that either turns the ball back to you where you can make a tackle, or he makes a tackle himself. Stukes, being the leading tackler on his football team, shows how much he's involved in the running game as well as the passing game.
And a returning veteran from last year, so he's already got a World Bowl ring. Wants another. Cloman in motion. Martin will throw again. And it's picked off again, and it's Keith Adams this time. And Adams has got a lot of space in front of him. And a blocker as well. And still on his feet down to the 9-yard line. Mark Thomas eventually got him. But Keith Adams from the Dallas Cowboys with his first interception of the year. What an important one for the Thunder.
You talk about bloodlines and pedigree. Well, Adams, the son of Julius Adams, a great player for the New England Patriots, makes a nice play on the ball there. But that play was just as much Adams being in the right place as it was T. Martin. Should have never thrown that football. It was just a bad pass on T. Martin's behalf. You could only assume that he hasn't shaken off the cobwebs from the hit, because that's a ball that should have never been thrown. There's no way he could have gotten it between the linebacker and the corner that was out there.
Why are they throwing it so much, Sean? This is a team that's lived by the run all season long, and you'd think that they haven't got a running game from what we've seen so far.
You see, what happens, Nick, is that you hear your press and people are talking about how you can't do something, and you fall into the trap and try to do it. Dance with the girl that brought you to the dance.
Here's Huzak looking for more. Incomplete.
You know, you see Berlin in contrast. They know they're the #1 passing team in all of NFL Europe. They come out, they throw the ball, keep you honest a little bit with the running game. But for the most part, they're going to throw the football and make no bones about it. I think that Ryan is being a little bit cute right now, and they should settle into what they do best and make Berlin defend what they do best.
Of course, the Thunder with a little bit more balance since White came on so strong. Yes, they throw the ball.
Timeout right here.
This is a first timeout. Ryan. This is a 30-second timeout.
The Rhein Fire take the timeout, and Peter Vass will talk things over with his quarterbacks.
I looked at Jeff first.
Yeah, I know. You hit doubles right face. So easy. Okay, it's all right. You just haven't thrown it the last time you threw it.
Now, Ryan called timeout on that play. Normally when a defense calls timeout in the red zone, the area from the 19-yard in the red zone, it's because you're used to seeing a certain formation, a certain package of players, tight ends, running backs, and you don't see the thing that you're used to seeing, talking about tendencies again. So the best thing to do in that situation, call timeout, regroup, instead of trying to play in a situation where you don't have the right people on the field and you blow an opportunity to stop them and they score. So it's actually a pretty good timeout in that case.
Especially when you consider that this year the Rhein Fire defending the red zone have given up points every single time. It's the worst record in the league. Every time an offense gets this close against them, they put something on the board.
But what is unique to Ryan, which is unlike most of the teams in NFL Europe, they will bring everything in the red zone. They're not afraid to blitz you at all. And a lot of people lay back. They won't, they'll bring everything if they need to.
Huzak looks.
Oh, that was a nice play on the ball. That was a nice play on the ball.
So that's going to bring up third down. Earthwind Moreland making the play. Boy, they need a stand here, even if it's just a field goal for damage limitation, but the Fire can't fall too much further behind. Yeah, they're not a catch-up team.
You hit the nail right on the head, Nick. They don't really have the kind of offense that can play fast break, football. You hear about fast break type of basketball. That's not there. They're a setup offense. They're not really the kind that can just keep running up and down the field.
Third down. Huzak will throw. Pressure comes. He has to just get rid of it. The pressure was coming from Corey Callens. And they will send out the field goal unit once again.
You had Callums coming on that play. You had Humphreys coming on that play. A good job of getting pressure when pressure was needed, because if not, like you mentioned, Nick, you're down points in your home in a championship game series, and you really don't have the kind of offense that it takes to keep matching them point for point. Like I said before, they've got to find a way to slow this football game down.
Axel Kreuzer from 28 yards. He has a long of 32 and hasn't missed this season and doesn't miss there. And the Berlin Thunder have 3 scoring opportunities and have taken 2 turnovers and turned that into 13 points with a minute left here in the first quarter. It's all Berlin so far. Well, the Thunder started slowly. In fact, both these teams started slowly. They lost their first game of the season, which usually is the death knell. Certainly, if you lose 3, you never go to the World Bowl.
No, you're right.
The Thunder are the first team to ever achieve that. But when you think from 0-3, 6-1 after that to finish at 6-4, this is the team with the momentum, despite the fact that it was the Fire that finished with the best overall record.
No, you're right. You're looking at 2 teams that at the end of the season were going in different directions a little bit. Rhein wrapped it up early and kind of coasted and didn't win on a momentum going into the championship, where Berlin, on the other hand, had tremendous momentum. Peter Voss, after week 2, very prophetic of him, said, "We will be the first team in NFL Europe history to lose 2 games and make it to the World Bowl." And here he is right now. But I don't like the pace of this game. It does not favor the Rhein Fire right now. They're letting Berlin dictate the pace of this football game. They have to run the ball and control the clock in order for them to win.
Younger and Alston are back deep once again, and Boyd is giving them nothing so far. And there's another squib kick. And Alston's going to field it at the 15. Can he get something going? Back to the 35. Flag comes in at the 36-yard line. Mawuko took Benyo in on the special teams tackle. One of a handful of players that joined the Thunder this week because they were hit by injuries, as the flag, of course, goes against the Rhein Fire. When it rains, it pours.
But I'm telling you something. Berlin has to be careful with the squibbing that they're doing. Let the referee make this call, and I'll try to explain where I'm coming from with this.
Holding. Number 1 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Rhein.
Yeah, you'll hear people talking about we've got a man down, but you'll hear people talk about hang time in American football and what that means.
Sorry, it is Corey Alston, the returner.
Down. And that could mean a lot. We keep talking about their return team, their ability to return. But when you squib kick to them, you don't have that hang time. In other words, you don't give your defenders a guy running down the field to get under the ball and make a tackle. So if they can hold up against a squib and still get the ball to their deep guys, and that's not a good sign.
This doesn't look good, yeah.
We talked earlier about getting off under your own power. That's not a good sign when you have to get helped off.
Corey Alston, the speedster from the Jets, who only had 5 catches in the regular season, but such a threat on kickoff returns. But unless there's some miraculous recovery there, it doesn't look like he's going to be playing any further part in this game, and that's a real blow for the Fire.
Well, it's a real blow. I mean, they're losing 100% of their offense in terms of touchdown production. You know, the last 3 touchdowns were scored by him.
Yeah.
And so that is a devastating blow for him. And you could only hope that's something you can shake off, which does not look. I've been in that situation before, and that is a grimacing picture from my days of playing. You never want to be dragging that leg like that when you're coming off the field. That's not a good sign.
Tim Hasselbeck, talking about bloodlines and Julius Adams and his son. Well, Tim Hasselbeck, of course, the younger brother of Matt Hasselbeck, and their father, Don Hasselbeck, played in the league for many years. Might have played against you, Sean.
I played with him. Let me date myself. That was my tight end. I had to throw him around a little bit. I'll get a phone call on Monday about that.
First down. Here's Jamal Robertson breaking tackles, picking up 4 yards, only his 2nd carry of the ball game, and we're in the final minute of the first quarter. Who'd have thought that?
Well, I tell you what, Coach Kahartz is listening to us. He has the world feed, and he's listening to what we're saying up here, because that's what we've been saying. You have to run the football. You have to control the time of possession part of the game, because they don't have a fast break type of offense. It's a grind them out type of offense. And, you know, when you have a back that can tote it all the way, you give him as many opportunities as you possibly can.
The big tight end, Mark Thomas, is in motion. Martin gets some protection and looks for Jimmy Robinson, and Robinson looks at Martin, and Martin looks at Robinson, and that sums up the miscommunication that's going on with this passing game.
And now what you'll see in that play, and that's a lot of times you see a play like that and automatically the quarterback gets the blame on that. But you have to look at the coverage that they're playing. They run a lot of option routes. That means depending on how your defender is playing, I should say, you have the option of changing the route. And so that may have been one of those situations where there's a miscommunication between what T. Martin saw the defender doing and what the receiver saw the defender doing.
And that takes us to the end of a first quarter dominated completely by the Berlin Thunder. The defending champions have kind of silenced the crowd a bit here at the Rheinstadion. It's 13-0 Berlin over the Fire. The crowd enjoying the sunshine here, and in that crowd, Boris Becker, the three-time Wimbledon champion who performed the coin toss earlier, but declined Sean Jones's request for some tips on his backhand. I guess he saw a hopeless case when...
Hey, man, I was a big Boom Boom Becker fan, man. I mean, when he came on the scene, he brought such an excitement to the game of tennis. Now, you see Martina Navratilova trying to come back, and McEnroe will just never go away.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Becker's not on the circuit. The guy looks great.
Somebody knew Sean Jones was in town. There you go. Make you feel at home. First down. Can T. Martin feel at home with a pass to Jimmy?
Oh,
yes.
Nice ball. We saw them working on that in practice, Nick, and that was a ball that T. Martin has been talking about, that they have not gotten the opportunity to throw the long ball. People say they cannot throw the ball, but they really haven't had opportunities to throw the ball. But they've got big receivers. I mean, there's not a receiver on this team that is under 6'1" and wide bodies. So what they lose in speed, they make up for in size. I don't know why they haven't been running, fades all season against other people, because they're really outsized everyone.
First down at the 40 of the Thunder. Now they give it to Jamal Robertson, who dances around and will lose yardage. And so far they're defending him pretty well. Sam Young from the Denver Broncos on the stop. It's going to be second down and 11.
Sam Young's going to get credit for that tackle, but it's going to be Stoops that actually made that play. By making him have to bounce and make that second move, Young was right there to make the tackle. And you hear it so much in American football, well, who makes a tackle? But there's so many times you have to point out who actually made that play. And Young made the tackle in that play, but Stoops made the play happen.
He's having a good World Bowl, Dwayne Stoops, so far. Second down, Martin, play action, pump fake. Now he's getting pursuit. And does he get a man? They're ruling it incomplete. A great diving effort from Jimmy Robinson, who argues his case, but Robinson working one-on-one with Sam Young. No gain. Third down and 11.
Now they're going back to the passing game a little bit, and this is what T. Martin actually does best. He does a very good job of throwing the ball on the run, I should say. A great asset of his. Now his receiver has to pull this ball, and I know that they're going to say, you have to reach out for it, but the rule is you get your both hands on a football, you should really be able to tuck it in.
Third down, Martin throwing again. Going downtown for Robinson again, who's got stepped one-on-one with Young, and they went to the well once too often there.
Now, they're getting downfield with the passing game, and what is opening up for them because of how Berlin plays their defense, which is a lot of cover two. That means there are a lot of two guys deep. They have to try to get a double move over that to get deep, or come back a little bit where they're shortening off the route and break it back, and that should be there for them if Berlin continues to play them the way they have been playing them.
So Dirk Johnson is back out on the field. Dane Looker, number 81, waits at the 10-yard line. And it's a fake. Ojo to Dinkins. Oh. Dinkins has got a lot of work to do and is short. I just thought that's just the kind of place they might try a fake, and they almost got away with it. But almost is not good enough. A yard short for DJ Dinkins. Jude Waddy. Was he a former teammate of yours at Green Bay?
Sure was up in Green Bay. A real quick, weak side linebacker that's really stepped up here for Berlin, playing the middle at 220 pounds and playing some strong side linebacker. So real quick guy is able to run.
Once again, the Thunder hold firm. Capacity crowd here at the Rheinstadion, which is due for demolition later this summer. These fans have come to say goodbye to the place. There's a new stadium going up just in time for the 2006 World Cup, which Germany will be hosting.
Well, maybe England will fare a little better. See, it's a win-win for the U.S., No one expected anything from us.
I know.
So we're like, having a parade for our guys.
I felt like shooting myself after that game against Brazil, I tell you.
Their guys are being lined up in front of Buckingham Palace. They're taking them out.
Tim Hasselbeck in at quarterback for the Berlin Thunder. They'll give him the second quarter. And he doesn't make the best of starts. The pressure came and he couldn't find a man. Devone Claybrook's in on that hurry.
Yeah, they try to run what seemed to be a middle screen, and the crowd noise affects so much of your plays that you wouldn't believe it out there. So you try to run a play like a middle screen, and there's a miscommunication because you have to yell "go" to your guys in order for them to know the play is on. When the crowd gets involved, it's very hard to pull that play off.
So 2nd down and 10. The pitch back is to White. And White is going nowhere as well as this Rhein Fire defense finally decides to stand up and show why it's ranked #1 in NFL Europe. But it's good to see Tim Hasselbeck out here. Peter Varson, you know, you talk about it being a developmental league. Guys get a chance over here, but Peter Varson is only if they're good enough. And Hasselbeck's earned his chance.
He's earned his chance, but it's a rough, you know, it's rough around his house. You have your dad, who's Don Hasselbeck, your brother's Matt, then your fiance is Elizabeth from Survivor. There's no way he gets a leg at turkey time. I mean, he gets, you know, he ends up with a wing or something. He's way down the pecking order.
And he's grateful for that. 3rd down, he'll throw again, and he's got his man. Jörg Heckenbach, the sure-handed German veteran, makes the catch. They don't throw to this fella too often, but when they do, he makes sure of it.
And he's a National Offensive Player of the Year. You talk about his sure hands. Well, he happens to be an insurance agent, not necessarily Allstate, but they're in good hands with him there. Does a very good job of pulling the ball in. The unique thing about Heckenbach, though, is that when you talk about shortening the gap or making the gap less between national players and U.S. players, how soon will it be before we see a national player? You may see a player like Heckenbach, who's a great long snapper.
As Looker picks up 1st down yardage.
And a good block on that play, too.
Yep.
So when you talk about guys that can make the transition from the national player to the league, it may be a specialist like a Heckenbach. As we're talking about him, you'll see him, you know, this is just a toss out and a nice block by Heckenbach there.
And Looker doing just enough to pick up the 1st down. Yeah. Guy going back to the Rams, of all camps to go to try and get a job as a wide receiver. Doesn't get much tougher, and Jörg, of course, isn't going to go for a camp anywhere despite being a very solid long snapper.
Yeah, but he gets it. He gets it. And the reason why he gets it is that he knows that whenever you're playing in the NFL, you're putting on a show for, you know, 31 other football teams. So if he doesn't make it for the Rams, he wants to put on enough of a show that another team will take a chance on him. He gets it. There are guys that come over here for different reasons. We'll say that time and time again. And the biggest reason should be the mature.
Look at that, just short.
And he didn't get it.
No. I thought he did.
So you can get it. You know, you can get it, like, understand it, but you don't necessarily have to get it.
And Jörg Heckenbach, of course, played with the Dusseldorf Panthers, who are not on that list, the Cologne Crocodiles, the Rüsselsheim Razorbacks. I mean, football in Germany, as you can see, and you knew this anyway, is big.
Oh, it's huge, man. I was really surprised. You talk about the ignorance of, you know, an American coming to visit Germany and not knowing what to expect and not knowing, you know, you see one thing when you see the games from week to week. But until you're in the stadium and understand the euphoria that goes on with the fans and the craziness, I'm telling you right now, you know, it's been hours since they got here. Everybody's had the beverage of their choice.
Yes.
They're pretty wild down there
us.
right now.
We're working. The 3rd down quarterback keeper looks good enough. And the thing is, just going back just to finish your point there, Sean, I think a lot of Americans, when they first come over here, they just assume the fans are here for a good time and having a bit. But these guys know
they know their football. And, you know, it's weird. And I'm not saying it just because I played there, but the atmosphere that I saw here reminded me of my last stop as an NFL player, which was Green Bay. Pretty much the same festive type atmosphere that you see here in Germany.
1st down Thunder, looking to build on this already healthy lead. Anthony White isn't going to go anywhere on that play, and White is not going to get 197 yards today. Anthony Dogby, talking about German players, Anthony Dogby, number 50, making the tackle there for the Rhein Fire. Another veteran that's been around the block a few times. This is his 5th season. Aaron Humphrey with the assist as well.
Yeah, but we talked about it earlier, Nick, where this Rhein Fire defense, they're so very active. I mean, you're talking about guys that are going to get around, and move around.
Who'd have thought Rhein Fire had 28 rushing yards thus far, being outrushed by the Thunder. Loss of a couple of yards. Second down. Hasselbeck has that one batted up in the air and swatted away by Tim Johnson, the league's leading tackler this season from the Bears.
Now they come in that last play and they rush 3 defensive linemen, okay, and then bring a linebacker off a corner. So the quarterback, he's looking at this thinking that he'll have 8 people dropping back, but instead he doesn't. He confused the quarterback a little bit. Defensive lineman, get your hands up to knock the ball down, because most of what Berlin does is 3, at the most 5-step drops.
Third down and long. Draw play is to White, and White is brought up short, a good 6 yards short as well. They saw that one coming. Mau Tuiteli was in the middle of it with some assistance. And what will the Thunder do from here?
It's you know.
Well, they're sending on the punting unit.
Yeah, but
I thought they might.
Don't be surprised. Peter Voss will take a shot at kicking a 58-yarder, you know, because the guy is just crazy that way. There's a scoring opportunity. He has kind of like the Bill Parcells mentality. I'm going to put the pressure on you to stop me from scoring.
Maybe he'll go for the fake. Back there is Jordan Younger, who returned an 81-yard punt for a touchdown against the Thunder. And that's going to sail inside the 5-yard line. A terrific job done by Brian Morton from the Minnesota Vikings. You can't do it much better than that. And the Rhein Fire will have an awful long way to go, and trailing by 13 when we return. Welcome back to Dusseldorf. The sun starting to set now. It's 7 o'clock local time. It was very hot on that field in warm-ups, wasn't it? You and I were working up a sweat, never mind the players, but the sun's starting to go now, and I think the players will be grateful for that. Man,
if you talk about you don't sweat, well, you're definitely glowing, if that's what you want to call it, because it was very moist out there. Felt like I was in the middle of Houston.
First down at Rhein Fire inside their own 5-yard line. T. Martin hands the ball off. Nothing doing on the ground once again. And the Thunder defensively, Dwayne Missouri stopping Tony Taylor there. Defensively, they are not letting the Fire get into any kind of rhythm.
And Missouri picking this game at 5.5 sacks during the season. You know, and everyone talks about rushing the passer, but a big part of being a defensive lineman in the NFL is the ability to play the run. And that's one thing that he came over here this year, said he had to work on, and he's done a nice job so far.
Dwayne Stooks taking a couple of plays off. Back on the ground they go. Still nothing doing there for Taylor, who's just bouncing around. Onte Jones was in the thick of that one as well. Big Bill Duff was there. A bunch of guys all wrapped around Taylor. That's going to be third down and long.
Well, this Berlin defense, you know, they take this as a challenge to be able to stop this great running game of the Rhein Fire. Al Jackson, Croker, you talk about Hamilton on the other side of the ball, who everyone is touting as the best offensive lineman in all of NFL Europe. Well, heck, you know, Rhein has 2 very good football players in Jackson and Croker. Well, now, if you're Berlin and you're a defensive lineman, you have to take pride in being able to stop that running game.
Back on the ground they go. Taylor, nothing doing. Maybe a couple, but well short of first down yardage, and just 1 or 2 grumbles of discontent around this crowd after that. The stop made by Jesse Warren, another guy that's only been with the team a couple of weeks. Yeah, boy, they were hit with injuries.
But that's good defense, though. That's good defense. That's responsive defense. When you pin a team deep, you know, close to their end zone, the worst thing as a defense you can do is have a sustained drive. By that I mean you let them complete first downs, and so they did a good job of knocking them out.
So Johnson punts from deep in his end zone. They won't fake this one.
No, they'll have good field position here.
Looker waits at his own 50-yard line, or own midfield. Good punt from Johnson. Looker has to field it at the 38-yard line. And the coverage good as well. Well, Dirk Johnson has bunted consistently well for the Rhein Fire this year, and he ripped off a beauty there. He's doing what he can, but it's still the Thunder in control. It's all about that. 41 pounds the World Bowl weighs. The Berlin Thunder lifted it last year. They're well on the way to lifting it this year. One of the features of the game so far is how well defensively the Thunder have stopped the Rhein Fire running game.
No, they've done a very nice job of stopping the running game, and it's something that they had to be concentrating on during the week to come in to do. But now this is a situation for Rhein where, you know, they have to do a better job of getting the ball back now to their offense, and by doing that, they've got to take control of this football game.
Hasselbeck has been replaced by Husak, and Husak's going upstairs. And he's got a man as well, and they're going to rule it a catch.
OB. That should be out of bounds.
Looking for Kwame Cavill, who was playing in Scotland a week ago.
Just last week, I just saw him, play for.
We were there. We were covering his game in Barcelona. Yeah, but
he goes to get on a plane and come home.
And they said, no, you go to Berlin.
They said gate 17, not 16. 16 was going to U.S. 17 was coming to Berlin.
One man's injury is another man's opportunity. Cavill unable to bring that one in. So that's going to be 2nd down and 10. Hasselbeck has had his series. Can Husak build on this 13-point lead? Looking for Jamail Kelly, nothing doing there.
And I talked about it earlier about Rhein's defense needing to take control of this football game. I also said the leadership of their defense is their secondary, led by D. Cooper. So now, when you talk about their offense that needs to control the pace of the game, well, their defense needs to control the pace of the other side of the ball by getting turnovers. You have to get the ball out. What turned this game around was the first turnover that Berlin was able to get. So now, in turn, Rhein has to do the same thing. They have to get the ball back to their offense.
3rd and 10, Berlin. Husak's in trouble, just has to get rid of it. He had Aaron Humphrey closing in on him fast and just threw it away.
That's a win. That's a win. When you come out here in this situation, you get a 3 and out. That's a win. And that's giving your offense more opportunities to execute. They have to be pleased in the way they played, this last series.
So Brian Morton comes back out, and Jordan Younger goes back.
Yeah, that was a heck of a punt, the last one he got off.
But Younger may get a shot at a return here. The Berlin Thunder know all about him. That 81-yarder for a touchdown really was a backbreaker for him in the regular season. So can the Fire find something on special teams? There goes the punt. Younger watches it in. And now he seems to just lose that in flight. No chance of a return. The ball spotted at the 20-yard line, maybe the 21. They're going to be generous. So T. Martin. Well, he's thrown 2 early interceptions. Here's the first of them on just the second play. Onte Jones was the man on the spot for that one. That led to 1 field goal, and the second one to Keith Adams. In fact, the first one was to Adams, to say that's the one to Jones.
Yeah.
And Jones won first, Adams second.
And the first one to Jones, you had a little excuse, but the second one was just a bad ball. And I could only attribute it to the fact that he didn't shake the cobwebs off from the hit he took.
Here's Robertson. And the league's offensive MVP, Jamal Robertson, who's been such a story in NFL Europe this year, is getting nothing so far this afternoon from Keith Adams and the rest of this Berlin Thunder defense, which is just stuffing the run.
Yeah, what you're going to see is guys just coming up the field. You see a guy up the field there, another guy coming in to make a play, and that's what we're talking about. When you're playing defense against a guy that's able to run the ball, you have to get penetration up the field, and then you will get some, kind of force from your corners. That's what Berlin has been doing so far in terms of defending the run. They've been getting penetration up the field.
Martin finds Jimmy Robinson for 8 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd down and a couple.
Yeah, Robinson, one of these big body receivers that Rhein has in their arsenal. And when you have a big body guy like that, you make him keep his body between the ball and the defender. So it's a nice placement on the ball there by T. Martin.
3rd down and a couple. The Rhein Fire really looking for a good offensive drive with some points. Can they keep it alive here? Robertson gets the carry. He's short. They are doing a number on Jamal Robertson this afternoon.
Yeah, they're doing a good job in terms of not getting pushed off the line of scrimmage. You always get yourself in trouble when you get your shoulders turned and you create holes.
And look at the look on his face.
Robinson looks frustrated, and he should be. You're used to having your way, and you're going to see guys just stay flat across the line of scrimmage, just flat. Nobody is being moved. The line started here. The new line of scrimmage was there. Here it is again. There's no way for him to run with the football. And that is what Berlin is doing. They're creating a new line of scrimmage on the other side of the ball and just getting nice penetration and gang tackling everybody, Nick.
And they're going to fake it again. Dirk Johnson's going to try and turn the corner. He's being pursued and is stopped. Well, full marks for bravery, but Dwayne Stukes got there first, and just behind him, Bubba Alexander, and he was close. They're going to call for the measurement, and I tell you what, you don't like kickers and punters, I know, Sean, but you take nothing away from Dirk Johnson on that play.
I tell you what, I'll give him an A for effort because he sure took a chance of getting a whop-a-lop. And whop-a-lop is, you know, you can get a whopper and then you can lop. He took both of them on that play. You know, you get a hit up and down. Well, he took a chance of getting whop-a-lopped on that play. But you lose the ball a little bit when you don't know where the point of the ball is, and that's all that really matters. If the point of the ball is over that first down marker, it's a first down.
And a sign of how desperate things are getting.
No, it's a gutty play by him, man. It's a gutty play.
Was it enough? I don't think it is from that angle. Yes, it's not. Yeah, it's a Berlin ball. It was close.
And you're going to see him here trying to turn the corner and trying to extend that ball. But a good job coming in underneath, just turning his body around and just not giving him the ability to extend that ball far enough to get the first down.
So Peter Vars's team, another chance to increase their lead, and Pete Kuharczyk has gambled twice on special teams and come up short twice. The first time he didn't lose a lot, but this time the gamble has given the Thunder the ball on the Fire 30-yard line. And listen to the jeers and whistles as the fans try and get into it. Not much doing from Anthony White there, maybe just 4 yards, and running lanes proving very, very narrow for both teams in this game.
V, screen right. Left over. V, screen right.
Here we go. Ready for now. Left over, B screen right on 101, right?
So second down and 7. Bob Bicknell, who's getting married next week, the offensive coordinator for the Berlin Thunder. Looking on, there was movement and flags come in, and that is whistled dead. Certainly Aaron Humphrey jumped at left end, but was he drawn? That's the question that Walt Anderson will answer.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 90. Moving into the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction by the right tackle. Be a 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That is Aaron Humphrey. And not much has gone right today for the Rhein Fire, offensively, defensively, or any which way. Certainly not special teams.
Well, that's the thing that they game plan. They game plan the hard count and using it as as a weapon to just move the chains, move the ball a little bit. And you have to come into the game knowing that they're going to hard count you.
So now it's second and short. And Husak will drop to throw once again. And he goes over the middle to White. And White gets himself to the 15-yard line. And this pass-catching ability of Anthony White is the kind of thing that could get him a job with the Arizona Cardinals at the end of this year.
Yeah, so much of what they do offensively is done by their offensive line. And when you talk about their offensive line, you're talking about Ben Hamilton. I mean, this guy, talking to him, some guys come over here wondering if they'll have a job when they go back. Well, Ben Hamilton knows that he could go back and compete for a starting job at center. Kind of small to be a full-time guard, but does a nice job at the center position.
And we're at the 2-minute warning in the first half here in Dusseldorf. Two minutes left in World Bowl 10 in the first half here in Dusseldorf. Nick Halling with Sean Jones. And Sean, if you're a Rhein Fire fan, it's tough to know what's good out of this first half so far. Hasn't been much, has there?
Yeah, well, it's two teams going in the same direction that they came into the playoffs. You know, Berlin going up and Rhein going down. Rhein has not done a good job of executing so far, and Berlin has done a tremendous job so far, and creating turnovers and creating opportunities for their offense.
First down at the 15-yard line. Husak looks for Looker again. Touchdown, Berlin. Looker working Earthwind Moorland, and this is turning into a rout. Perfect execution from Husak, perfect hands from Looker. And Berlin with a chance to increase this lead to 20 points if Axel Kreuzer converts this extra point. And the Rhein Fire's first half of misery in World Bowl 10 just gets deeper and deeper.
All right, you're going to see Looker right there in the slot, and all he does, they run a rub, which means they're going to try to pick, and then on the other side of it, you'll come back and you'll see what Looker does now after the pick is successful. And the pick doesn't mean you have to knock your guy off. It just means you have to create that kind of confusion where there's some kind of indecision by the defender. Then they run a fade to the corner. That means the receiver's going to do everything that's possible to keep his body between the defender and the ball. Great execution by Berlin on that last play, but it tells you that there are a lot of things going on with Rhein right now. Before that play started.
Is he calling the Rams or is he calling the offensive
I'm telling you what he's calling and saying. Just what I'm about to say was that, hey, man, I'm telling you, they're confused out there. You should see them. They were running guys on and off the field, totally confused about what was going on earlier.
He's not calling him.
I think he's calling him. Say, hey, man, they're confused. But what happens is you saw early Berlin, they're confused. Their defense, what do? They call timeout. Rhein, they're confused. What do? They run the play. You see the result. Touchdown.
Another squib kick, which Mautuitelli sort of bats up in the air, and Aaron Humphrey wants to try and be a hero. They're just going to get a spark from anything. They had Jamal Robertson back there because Corey Alston, by the way, we saw limping off on crutches. We're not expecting him to return. But if I'm Pete Kuharczyk, you just want to get these guys back in the locker room to make some adjustments. Here's another look at that touchdown.
Here's a touchdown here. And the whole way, Husak is looking at his man, so he knows where he wants to go with the ball ahead of time. But you're going to see Moreland was just a little bit late in getting over there. And you heard the play call earlier. It was called rub. And that could be called pick or whatever. It just means that you're going to create confusion. You're going to run as close to the other defender as possible, create some kind of confusion.
First down. Martin has a wide open Robertson this time, and Robertson gets past the first tackler but not the second. That was Keith Adams once again, and it's going to pick up 8 yards. And Adams, who had a terrific second half of the season, is carrying on where he left off.
Now, I will say this about Rhein. If you think there's any give up in these guys, you're crazy. Because you have a guy like Robertson that just wants to get the ball in his hands as many times as possible in any capacity. And they're obviously featuring that right now.
And they got him again. And Robertson knocks a Berlin helmet off with that. That's Jude Waddy, your old buddy.
Yeah, we're talking about hitting the day. Well, they are hitting the day. No confusion about that in 2 minute offense.
Charge timeout, Rhein.
Fire take their second timeout. They have one left after this. Yeah, the hitting's been pretty intense right from the off.
Let me tell you something. You ain't playing football unless you're playing on grass, okay, and a helmet falls off. It doesn't really make a difference how it comes off. You want to make sure that when you put a hit on somebody, they've been hit. You know, there's nothing worse than just putting a hit on the guy doesn't know they've been hit. Now, you know that they've been hit because some equipment falls off. I don't care if it's a knee pad, a helmet, and the best one is when the ear pad pops out. When the ear pad pops out or the shoes pop off and they're still laced, then you know there's hitting going on out there.
And, of course, Jude is over there telling everybody, yeah, I'm okay, nothing to worry about. But
Jude is a warrior, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been banged up. You see him pointing to the arm right there, you know. The arm is taped up, and he had a knee earlier, but it just keeps coming. It's like an Energizer button.
First down. They go over the middle once again, and Scott Cloman's got it, and Cloman just short of first down yardage. Stooks was there. He had a crowd with him. But you're so
Man, did you see that block by Robertson, though?
Yeah. There is
Came out of nowhere. I tell you, there's no quitting these guys, Nick.
T. Martin, second down, trying to keep things alive. Robertson is tripped up. Sam Young came up, and I think he's going to be just short. And Young filling in for the injured Calvin Branch. He's doing a pretty solid job back there.
This is the third and final timeout, Rhein. This is a 30-second.
Well, our clock says 28 seconds left. The stadium clock says 33 seconds left. Either way, T. Martin hasn't got much time left.
Yeah, and that's a timeout I don't think they really wanted to take, but they had to take it with third down. You can't down the ball because then you lose it down, so now you're forced to burn a timeout, and you'll see if that comes back to haunt them, because in hurry-up offense, Nick, you're trying to get as many plays as possible. Move the chains. Move the chains. Let's listen in. It's offensive coordinator Mike Jones.
And the interesting thing there is you heard Pete Kuharczyk saying we've got to throw it. Pete never gets involved in the offense, but such is the situation for the Rhein Fire. He's got to be hands-on here as well.
Yeah, you can't come away with nothing on the board. You've been beaten up so badly so far. You've got to get a punch in.
Double drive, a one-on-one, right? Hey, slant, Jimmy, slant.
Well, okay. you heard Pete say we got to throw the ball. They got 4 wide receivers out.
But more importantly, he calls a double drive with the guys running up the field, but he calls a slant late. There's a slant right there. He got
Robinson,
got him.
First down, but the clock will run and they can't stop it.
Now they've got to get up, wasted down with the ground, or a lot of times they go into the huddle with 2 plays called. No, they clock it. They clock it. Now this is where T. Martin excels from college. From high school in Mobile, Alabama, this is where he excels. You're going to see the slant coming right there. There's a slant, and that's what he called. They called drive, which tells everyone they're going to run their receivers off and make a play. But as he comes out of the huddle, he sees something differently, calls a slant, and there's a slant. Nice completion, and they convert. You got to keep converting here. You got to keep converting. Just keep moving the chains.
They have third-string quarterback David Dinkins out there lined up as a receiver. Martin goes for Cloman. It's close to first down yardage, but again, it's over the middle. They can't get out of bounds, and they need to hurry up.
Yeah, and there you go.
And now what will they do? Will they go for the field goal? Will they go for the end zone? 6 seconds left.
You have a chance to run one more play.
They can't stop us no huddle, man.
Right.
They can't stop us no huddle. We come back out with that no huddle.
Right, you hear,
He said we're doing it the rest of the game. Yeah.
T. Martin is talking kind of like how the receiver that always talks that he's always open. They can't stop us in no huddle. Well, he doesn't understand, I guess. They give you certain things in no huddle, and that's why you're in a position right now where you have to kick a field goal because they're giving you the inside of the field knowing that you have no timeouts. Now,
this guy, Jason Witschak, is 2 of 7. He only attempts the long kicks because Manfred Bergsmuller does the short stuff. And they're going to make him sweat on it. Witschak has a long of 44, so this is comfortably within his range. It's going to be around 35-yard line and 35 yards. And Pete Kuharczyk knows he's just going to get something on that board, get rid of that big 0.
And Berlin just a while ago had to call that timeout because Cecil Caldwell was lumbering off the field and was not going to make it off the field. Now, the interesting thing about that play, that would have been a first down. And so that changes the complexion a little bit. They probably still have to, kick the ball anyhow, but that's why that timeout was called. Caldwell was having some problems getting off the field. Sometimes, they'll call that timeout to make the kicker think about it a little bit. Not so the case in that last play.
He's been a bit all over the place as Jason Witschak this season, but it's comfortably within his range. 36 yards, and it's blocked, tipped. What else can go wrong for the Rhein Fire?
Every now and then you pick a bad day to play bad, and this is like that movie Trains, Planes, and Automobile. Rhein Fire picking a bad day to play bad. This is the worst game they've played all season. I mean, they just haven't looked like themselves at all, man.
And listen to the 50,000 fans here at the Rheinstadion whistling and booing their team in disgust. It's been all Berlin, and they fully deserve that 20-0 lead at halftime here in Dusseldorf. So just getting ready for the second half. T. Martin warming up. There's been quite a little party going on here for the last 13 minutes, Sean, but I don't think there's been much of a party in the Rhein Fire locker room in the first half. It's been tough, and it really is symptomatic of the problems that they've had the last couple of weeks, which you've already alluded to.
I tell you what, you go into a locker room when you're down 20-0 in a championship ball game, and let me just give you the flavor of what's going on there. There's a lot of stuff flying around in there. There's a lot of people that are angry in there, throwing some things around, trying to get, whatever kind of motivation you can get to get this game back in hand. We said it earlier, Nick, this game does not favor Rhein being down 20-0 because they don't have the kind of, fast-paced offense that can quick strike you to death. Now, they've shown some semblance of a little passing game, getting some passes going. You heard T. Martin talking about it at the end of the half. They can't stop us in 2 minutes. Now, did he go in there and talk to coaches and let them come out there and play a little bit more 2 minutes? Because they have to do something different to put that kind of pressure on Berlin. Berlin gets the ball back.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else has worked. Ramondo North fields the kickoff at his own 6-yard line. And North takes it out to the 28-yard line, the man from the Chicago Bears. And the stats will show that Berlin are outgaining the Rhein Fire on the ground after one half of play, which I don't think too many of us thought that would happen.
Yeah, everyone in the stadium has to be shocked because you've lived all season by your running game, and they come into your house basically, which it is, and they're out rushing you. But now, your Rhein defense, you have to start tackling the ball, get the ball out, create turnovers. Rhein has not created a turnover so far in this game.
Here's Huzak going over the middle. Dane Looker is there, and he had a piece of it and couldn't bring it in. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. He got wide open again. Well, the biggest comeback in World Bowl history occurred in 1992 when it was a multi-continent league. We had some teams in North America and here in Europe, and the Sacramento Surge that year came back from 14 points adrift to beat the Orlando Thunder. Ed O'Neill's defense will need to make a stand throughout this second half if his offense is going to have any chance of matching that or indeed beating it. They need a big-time turnaround. On the ground, White looks, shows some patience, and picks up 6 yards.
Well, Nick, halftime defense is all about adjustments. What adjustments do you make? Okay, we said about everything that was going to be flying around in that locker room, but now let's play football. What adjustments are we making to try to knock them out a little bit? They've been playing a lot of cover 3, and Rhein's defense does. You'll see 3 defenders.
55.
Well, Peter Vass is a great locker room motivator himself. Wonder what he said at halftime. 3rd down, Huzak looks for Kenny Christian, who's going to be brought up short, or did the second effort get him the 1st down? Good second effort from Christian. It looked like he was brought up short, first of all, by Cedric Donaldson, but the second effort has brought him a 1st down.
Right over. Purple M22, Jets 8.
He does a lot of little things, Kenny Christian, doesn't he?
I like Christian a lot. I mean,
we saw the block
player. He blocks. He has nice hands, tough. You look for a receiver like that. He has to be a tough guy, and Christian really shows that kind of toughness you'd like to see in a football player.
1st down. Play action. Huzak has a lot of time and a wide open White, and White is looking for another 1st down here and maybe very close. They may bring a measurement out there to Itelli, and Peter Vass is going crazy. Peter's always got plenty to say. Just enjoy it, said Peter Vass. Well, they're enjoying it so far. There's the quick swing pass, and it takes a hop before it gets to Christian.
Yeah, you can enjoy it a lot more when you're on the other side of it. You're up 20-0. But I tell you what,
hey, he's not enjoying it right now. Look at this.
I can tell you, Coach Kaharczyk though wasn't talking about enjoying it in his locker room. But Peter Vass is a great personality in this league. You talk about how popular this league has become. A lot of the popularity has to do with the coaches that they have in this league. There's great personalities. You have Jack McMillan, you have guys like Peter Vass. They're just a great tribute to the league and what they're trying to build over here.
3rd down and short. They go on the quarterback keeper. Huzak works behind that big offensive line, and Big Ben Hamilton, the center. And a lot of people are saying Hamilton is... The Denver Broncos have had so many offensive linemen come from this league, and they reckon Hamilton could be the next on the conveyor belt.
Yeah, and Hamilton, I like the way that he plays. Like this kid a lot. Great pad level. Works his hips very well. In other words, he has an ability to get his hips in the hole and drive people out. But probably the best thing I like about him is his tenacity. He has a mean streak in him. A lot of guys, a lot of offensive linemen, they're passive. This guy's not a passive guy, a real nasty guy when he needs to be.
1st down, Huzak, play action. Now he spins the other way, and he finds a receiver once again, Jeff Kostreva, the tight end. And they'll pick up another 4, the tackle made by Tim Johnson.
Man, just 4 yards in that play, but that's as good as a 4-yard running play, you see, because what Huzak does there is that, watch the footwork here. You're going to see him look off and go one way. Okay, is it there? Pump fake, not there. Now let me come back the other way and get the ball out. You're saying it's not that big a play, but you know what? If you were running the ball, Nick, and you got 4 yards on first down, that's a winning play.
No one had more attempts this year than the Thunder, and a rushing attempt doesn't get much there. Anthony White is corralled on a 2-yard loss. Big Brandon Miller, who's talking of characters, that fella's a constant talker, Brandon Miller. For the first time in a ball game, Miller's got something to shout about.
You hit the nail right in the head. Personality and just a crazy guy out there. Always jabbing, always trying to get in your head. Making a nice play right there. He and Johnson, you know, combining to make that tackle. But you always got to have a guy like that just chatting it up the entire time out there just to keep guys loose.
They'll talk you to death, those guys. 3 wide receivers lined up to the right. The 4 wide receiver package out. Cusack looks to the right, and it's picked off. The big play comes from the Rhein Fire. Earthwind Moreland.
Earthwind was fired up on that last one. guess he got tired of them picking on him all day, and makes a good play stepping right in front of that ball, a ball that Cusack would love to get back.
So, World Bowl 10 has come alive. Ed O'Neill's defense has made a stand at last.
What will they do?
So, T. Martin and the offense back after this play from Earthwind Moreland. Interception number 1 for the Rhein Fire defensively. And yes, this fella really is named after Earth, Wind and Fire. His mother was a huge fan, apparently. That's why he became known as Earthwind. Just as well she wasn't a fan of the Sex Pistols, I suppose.
Thank God she wasn't.
First down, Martin will throw again. And that one is a one-hopper that just bounces its way through to Onome Ojo. No cause for too much celebration just yet.
T. Martin has to do a better job of stepping into his passes. That's just, there's no excuse for that pass right there. As you look at Earthwind Moreland, sometimes you get tired of picking on you, and Moreland makes a good play, made a good play in that last series when he picked the ball off. And they've been picking on him all day.
Had a good season as well, one of the better corners in the league. Second down, Martin. This time he does get his man, Ojo. And Ojo will pick up 5 yards before he's tackled. Like Sam Young coming up from left corner once again and making the stop. That's going to be 3rd down and 5 as the Fire look to capitalize on that turnover.
Ojo's a big body, 6'4" and change. I mean, that's a body like Adonis.
Let's go one trade.
It's a real big target to get the ball to, but
come back.
they have got to convert here. You have a sudden change situation for Berlin where they need to knock them out, and Ryan has to convert here if they're going to have any confidence in the second half.
4 wide receivers, and he goes for Jimmy Robinson again, and a horrible miscommunication between Martin and Robinson.
Yeah.
And listen to these fans, Sean.
Yeah. They're just seeing different things out there, Nick. And you know, you can talk about it after 10 games, now the 11th game. You're going to see the route here. It's definitely a stop route, and it should come back. But Martin throws the ball long. You never want to say whose fault it is on that play. But the way the defender was playing the receiver, that is a stop route. The defender's between the receiver and the ball, so you have to try to break that route off a little bit early. And T. Martin didn't see it on that play.
So Dirk Johnson needs to rip off another good one. And Looker is back there. Punt returns not a strength of the Berlin Thunder. They average 2.5 yards per return. And we're not going to build on that there. So bad news for the Rhein Fire. They get the turnover, but they can't get any points out of it. It's Berlin's ball. Well, they're out of sync, T. Martin and Jimmy Robinson, but they're still talking to each other, which is a good sign. But this offense is just not on the same page this afternoon.
Yeah, you have to have that kind of communication between your receiver and your quarterback, because so many adjustments you have to make, Nick. You have to make them on the run. So if you're not in tune with one another, you're just going to have negative plays. And Ryan can't ill afford negative plays right now.
Anthony White picks up just a couple of yards before he's stopped. Tim Johnson inevitably in on the tackle, one of the real busy linebackers. And you love Dusseldorf, I know, but did you know some of these facts about Dusseldorf, Sean?
You know what? I didn't find out about the fashion part of it until yesterday, walking around downtown Dusseldorf. Tremendous shopping.
Yeah.
And they're willing to bargain. That's important.
On the River Rhine. I was on that boat last night. Hey, that's my boat. Well, not my boat, but I was on it.
That's you hanging on the back.
It was. A gate crashed. Second down. Cusack goes nowhere. That's going to bring up 3rd down, and so far in this second half, both offenses off the pace a little bit.
And Rhein has to continue to do more things to take Husak out of his comfort zone. What they did in that last play showed him a little 3-man line, but brought a 4th man off the corner, linebacker off the corner. And Husak, I've noticed something about him. If he's comfortable, he'll pick you to death, like pick you to the bone. But if you start confusing him a little bit, let him hold on to the ball a bit longer, he really struggles when you do that to him.
Now, can the Fire hold firm once again? Yes, they can. They look for Kwame Cavill, and it was incomplete, and that's not Husak's best series by a long way. And he's unhappy about something now. Talking with Kwame Cavill, who's only been a teammate since Tuesday. So maybe they weren't communicating properly.
And they're giving them different looks now. I guess that's one of those adjustments that you make, at halftime, where you start giving them different looks. He's picking us apart, coach. What can we do? We'll start mixing it up a little bit. Let him start thinking a little bit. Once again, trying to control what you do as opposed to just reacting what they've done to you. And you'd hope that, they can continue to do things like that. But more importantly, they've got to get a turnover. They've got to get points on the board, and they have not been able to do that so far.
Or a special teams play. And I tell you what, the sun has come out, and it'll be in the eyes of the Berlin Thunder defenders. But the kick just drops out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So the Fire will get good field position out of that, if nothing else. But as you say, Sean, they're starting to run out of time a little bit now. Still that big 0 on the board. 6:53 left, 3rd quarter. And who's going to be raising their glasses in this one? Fire return man Corey Alston will play no further part in the European adventure, at least for this year. We hear it's a knee sprain, and let's hope it's nothing more unpleasant than that, but that is not looking good.
Yeah, it's not good, and you'd hope that it's just a sprain, like you said, and it's nothing torn, and you can come back with camp, a month away. You'll be healthy enough to get back for training camp.
Well, the Thunder offense has been limping along, and it continues just to limp along as well. Tony Taylor gets a couple. Where is this running game that has pounded through NFL Europe this year? It is just not there today.
Well, they're being stymied, and the reason why they're being stymied is because of good line play. You see penetration up the field that we've talked about, just making the guy be able to readjust himself, and that's what Big Sands brings to the table, his ability to be able to dominate at times, but has been inconsistent. Sands has been.
That's complete to Robinson. Young eventually on the stop, but they'll move the chain to 12-yard gain. But he is big. He's 6'7", so he looks you eye to eye, which doesn't happen often. And that means he has trouble. He has trouble getting in his hotel bedroom. I mean, the bed is, well, that's a bit of a shame. But it's when he takes a shower that the fun really starts. I mean, I know you have some sympathy for him, Sean.
Yeah, a little bit, but he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Big guys have problems with, little things.
He's 340. He's got a few pounds on you as well.
But good pressure there by Sands, just getting up the field. We keep talking about being able to get up the field, and Sands has so much potential, Nick. A guy that, you see him turn it on sometimes, and then other times you don't see the ability that you see from time to time. You're going to see Sands come right up the field here and create the penetration that we're talking about. Now, he didn't make the tackle on that play, but he makes the play. And why? Because he makes the guy being able to bounce around. You see Big Sands again laying out, feet hanging off the bed. Now, imagine that foot in the backfield all the time. Give him trouble all the time.
Here's Martin pump faking and going to Robinson again. Now at the 6-yard line. Robinson working Sam Young once again. First
and
down.
They got the communication this time, Nick, because that's what they were talking about in the sideline. Blew it the series before, and they come back to it, like you were saying. They were still talking to one another, and they work out the communication problem. Here's the route. Robinson makes the adjustment, and T. Martin is on pace with him with the adjustment, and Robinson does a very good job of hauling the ball in. We talked about it earlier, Nick, the communication. You pointed it out with them on the sideline, still talking. They made it pay off in that play.
Now, can they find another 6 yards? Here's Tony Taylor.
Now we got a ball game, Nick. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with grease, Nick.
And you should see this place has just gone crazy.
Now, you're saying 21-7. And why is everyone getting excited? Because they know the bread and butter of this team is their ability to run the ball. And once they can get that going, then Berlin, there's so much time still in this game. Berlin has to defend that running game, and if T. Martin is going to continue to have the success that he's had in that drive in the passing game, it makes the Rhein Fire a very difficult team to defend.
52-year-old Manfred Bergsmuller will attempt the extra point. He retires after this game, but he chips himself yet another extra point, and it is indeed tea time here in Dusseldorf. Tony Taylor has got the Rhein Fire back into World Bowl 10. The Rheinstadion in Dusseldorf, which is due for demolition, has just come back to life thanks to that man right there. Tony Taylor, allocated here from the Dallas Cowboys, has ended that offensive drought, and possibly just in time for the Rhein Fire. And now they need another defensive stand, and they mustn't give away too much on the kickoff return as well. North and Hawkins are the deep men. Hawkins is going to get it at the 6-yard line. And Hawkins bursts through a seam and has got a return to the 40, and still on his feet, Jordan Younger pushes him out of bounds at the 47. Terrific response from Berlin.
You're going to see the last touchdown here, and you're wondering why are they able to have the kind of success? Well, it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, cha-cha. 1, 2, 3, cha-cha. This is cha-cha working here because they have to all be in some kind of synchronization. They're moving in step, creating vertical holes, and when you create vertical holes, it gives a nice gaping hole for your running back to run through.
His lack of synchronization. They're out of sync, but they don't care.
Hey, when you've had 4 hours of the beverage of your choice, nothing's expected of you, Nick.
First down. Husak had a bad series last time out. Finds Kenny Christian, who makes a catch in traffic. Donaldson and Smith sandwiched him. But the thing is with this Kenny Christian, whatever they ask him to do, he just does it.
Yeah. And I had a chance to sit down with him at lunch the other day, and I thought he was just trying to be cool, you know, because he has the dreadlocks working, the whole Bob Marley thing, you know, Yeoman thing kind of working, and had the glasses on. And then had to point out to me about the eye injury. I forgot all about that at the time. But he reminds me so much of Webster Slaughter, just a really aggressive guy that, you know, will do anything it takes to help his team win.
And here's another aggressive guy, Anthony White, getting first down yardage. And you wonder how effective the Thunder might have been if White had been there right from the start. And you need as many horses as you can get in this business. They need to put that guy on the field.
Oh, my goodness.
Would you do that?
No.
That's my kind of horse. Just nobody on it, not moving. You just stay there, guys.
You know, they're getting everything down, all the pageantry, all the hoopla and everything. They're getting it down here in Germany, boy.
Never boring in Dusseldorf. Dane Looker gets not a whole lot, maybe a yard. Tim Johnson and Earthwind Moreland were there to make sure he didn't break one.
You talk about Moreland and Johnson coming up, doing the gang tackling we've been talking about, Nick. Haven't seen much of that today. Guys running around trying to get to the ball, but not making the plays that they needed to make. Now, come out here in a sudden change situation. Ball comes out. Get guys around the ball. Let's get rallying to the ball. Let's make short-handed tackles, and that's what you saw on that play. That's the kind of play Ryan is going to need in order to get back in this football game.
Second down. Listen to these fans. Husak gets good protection, gets Dane Looker over the middle again, and Looker's working blockers. It's Christian that sprung the block for the first down.
Now, I'm going to tell you something weird about Dane Looker. Every time you talk about him, you talk about, oh, well, he's not that fast. You know what? I don't see anybody catching him. He threw 4 moves right there, tore about 6 ankles in the process, you know, of defenders trying to, you know, get him down to the ground. He may not be fast, but he's quick as a cat, and sometimes being quick is better than being fast.
Plus, as you know, there's running in a straight line fast, and there's game speed.
Absolutely.
And this guy's got game speed.
He's a football player. And, you know, sometimes you can't put a guy on the clock to judge what kind of football player he's going to be.
Husak gives it to White, who gets past one tackler and dances his way behind blockers, and eventually is tackled from behind by Riley Klein-Hesselink, but not until he gains 6 yards.
Yeah, this was a sudden change situation. What you'd like to do as a defense if you're down is to stop them after a score. And you come out there, you put one down together, then you don't put another down together. And the next thing you know, you have a drive going. You're encouraging Berlin to continue to run the ball and run the clock. Your biggest enemy at this time, if you're Rhein, is the clock. You see what I'm saying? So at this point, they've got to find a way to knock them out and get a turnover or get the ball back into their offensive hands.
Second down, back on the ground with White. Stopped, met immediately and stuffed by Mao Tuitili, the middle linebacker.
And that's the kind of stop that you need. But you needed that 3 plays ago. But it does give you third down. And third down, you have to win on third down in the NFL. I don't care where you play. If you don't put yourself in a position where you can knock a team out on third down and get the ball back, you're going to be playing losing football. They just continue drives over and over again. So they still have a chance here to knock them out on third down and get the ball back.
3rd down and 7. Looker is the motion man.
You think they may be looking at him?
Yeah.
You think they may be going to Looker? Now, if I'm on the field, you don't think I'm looking to find where Dane Looker is at this point?
Cusack saw that the play clock was down to 2, so that gives us a chance to listen into his conversation with Peter Voss.
Well, 2 seconds left on the play clock. Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's go left, fade, rough. Left, fade, rough. Hey, Todd. We got a field goal. Be smart. What?
Bob Bignell, the offensive coordinator, and it's very much an offensive think tank, but you know it's Voss that has the final say.
Yeah, and they come with rub, left, fade, rub. Now, once again, you come with the fade and the rub. That means you have the fade, which is a play to the sideline, pass to the sideline, and you have a rub where you're going to create that kind of confusion. We talked about they scored in this play earlier, but the key, what Voss said was be safe. We have a field goal here, so be safe with the ball.
3rd down and 7. Cusack is anything but safe. That was very nearly picked up by
what he
Adrian
cautioned him
Sandler.
about. He cautioned him about being safe with the football. Cusack did not even see the defender, but fortunately for him, he could not hold on to the ball. There's a rub there, but they got caught up in their own rub. The rub is where you're trying to pick a man off, but the defender actually held on to him, and they got caught up in their own rub.
Danny Boyd started the scoring with a 48-yard field goal. This a 45-yarder. It's on its way. It's certainly got the distance. It's got the accuracy as well. And it's another 3 points for the Berlin Thunder. So 23-7 now. Peter Voss seems happy enough. He's got his offense working again. Well, a lot of stuff been going on, and maybe T. Martin's not been too happy this week because Charlie Batch has signed for the Steelers. In other news there, what do you see there, Sean?
What's up with this? I spell contract disputing, and
the Miami Heat, people who don't know, that's a basketball team.
I used to do that all the time. When I was holding out or something, I'd find a way to make the team think that I had something else going on, so they had to step up and try to pay my money. It never worked. Carl Peterson's actually here today, so maybe he's, coming over here to find a replacement tight end for Tony Gonzalez.
Troy Aikman is not here, by the way, nor is Emmitt Smith.
You can always threaten the other sport.
That's not Roman Pfeiffer's number, was it? No, it wasn't.
No. That's Pepper Johnson. That's
an old Packer.
That's Brett Favre 15 years from now. That's Dan Marino. That's Dan Marino right now.
Go.
Beer and all. That's Danny Marino right now.
And back we go with the action. And still they squib kick it, and Jamal Robertson waits for that ball to come down and then somehow stays on his feet and is still trying to fight for yardage, and in the end gets a pretty decent return out of it. Well, they've stopped him on the ground, Jamal Robertson, but he's shown he's prepared to do some special teams duties as well.
Yeah, and it's important for us to drive this point home that the guys on this team, the guys on this field, the guys in this game are going to be guys that are going to fill out your roster. They're not going to necessarily be your starters. They're going to be quality backups, and you can't be a backup in the league unless you are able to play some special teams. So it's very important that you show you can play special teams.
1st down. Martin going long once again. It's incomplete. They were looking for Onome Ojo, who was matched step for step with Sam Young, and it's Young they're going after every time at the moment.
They're going after Young, but if you look at the size differential, Ojo goes about 6'4" and change, with no shoes on.
Yeah. And Young's 5'11".
Young's 5'11". I'm going to try to find a way to match him up a little bit, beat up on them.
We have 1 quarter left of World Bowl 10. It's Berlin continuing to lead 23-7. Well, Who's going to get their hands on the World Bowl? Will it be T. Martin, Dwayne Stooks, perhaps? 41 pounds. These guys are making it look pretty easy. Aaron Humphrey there, he can lift that thing up easily. But who's going to be lifting it up for real in 15 minutes of play? That's how long the NFL Europe season has to run.
Well, if you're T. Martin, you're going to get a chance to do exactly what you've said you wanted to do all season. That's throw the ball, because they can't get back into this ball game running the ball.
There's 11 yards to Jimmy Robinson, who's going back to the New Orleans Saints, as is Onome Ojo, his teammate. They'll kind of become rivals, battling for a job. But right now, very much on the same page.
They've got the biggest bodies in all of NFL Europe when you're talking about a receiving core, and they have to start creating plays, creating separations with, you know, the talent that they have. You have big bodies. You're not going to outrun anybody, Nick. They're not going to outrun anyone, so you have to create scheme to beat these guys right now.
Martin throwing.
There you
again.
go.
There's Robinson with a cushion, and Robinson is tackled by Sam Young.
You see, Nick, that's what we're talking about. That play has been there all day. They've been trying to force the ball upfield, but the underneath stuff is there. The stop is there. They call it a stop route. You have the fade, which you fade into the sideline, and you have the fade stop, which you can run the same route, but stop and the ball is there, or you can run a come back to the ball. They have to start picking on those routes. Then the defenders will now have to start creeping up. Then the pass up the field will be there.
Martin going the same way once again, and Robinson and Young are tangled up, and no chance for Robinson on that occasion.
Yeah, because they can't get behind the defender. They're not able to get, they don't have that kind of team speed to get behind the defender, so they're not playing for their strength, they're playing for their weakness.
And I'll tell you, the loneliest man on the field, it's not him, it's the other guy on the right corner. Ahmad Hawkins, who had 4 interceptions, and he's dangerous. They're not going anywhere near him. They're just picking on Sam Young, who's filling in for Calvin Branch, who got hurt last week. And Young holding up pretty well so far.
He's doing a fine job because they're playing right into him. He knows he can always come up, so he's just staying deep and just coming up and making tackles because they can't outrun him.
They're trying to wear him down, and they're going that way once again, and they've got a man. There's a flag down as Kloman picks up first down yardage.
We're going to get a pass interference away from the ball, or a holding away from the ball.
Kloman's shaken up.
Holding. Defense. Number 27.
Yeah, Stooks.
The penalty is declined. First down.
Yeah, they get tangled up away from the ball, Stooks does. And in that situation, when you have a jam on the offensive play, you're getting your hands on them, you're going down, your natural inclination is to hold on and get called for holding.
Here's Martin with the little swing pass to Robertson, and Robertson gets a block, but then they swarm all over him. He drew a whole bunch of Thunder defenders. Cleveland Pinckney, big Cleveland Pinckney, the defensive tackle in on that group.
Yeah, and Pinckney is an animated guy. The first time we've called his name today, but a good guy running sideline to sideline. At the point of attack, plays with great leverage. Okay, you see Stooks, who committed the offensive to play before, but Pinckney does a good job of running sideline to sideline. And when you talk to his defensive coordinator, they tell him, they tell you that he's the kind of guy that you rally around because you know he's going to give you effort in every play.
Martin making a good effort there, finding Scott Kloman, who is just short of first down yardage, and a real sense of urgency about the Rhein Fire now. Hardly surprising as we're in the 4th quarter, and they still trail by 16.
And Dave Dugan, we saw the defensive coordinator there, Dave Dugan, just a minute ago. Now, if he's not careful here, they could put themselves in a position where they score, had to call timeout, bad clock management here, but you score here, and we've got a ball game once again, Nick. So Coach Dugan has to be very careful with the calls that he's making, where he's putting his defenders at this point.
It's all boiling up here in Dusseldorf, World Bowl 10. Wonderful, wonderful party atmosphere here in Dusseldorf. Can you imagine what it would be like if this Rhein Fire team was in the lead right now? It would be better.
Or if they could come back, Nick.
Oh, yeah, there's still time.
And it's 3rd and short. While we were away, we got nosy and we got in their huddle as they try to get the wave rolling.
All synchronization, very synchronized crowd.
But anyhow, they call play 795 and they'll check it. Here comes the check.
And there goes the jump from Dwayne Missouri, who does all the pointing at the right tackle, saying, I was drawn by Patrick Vensky, number 60, but we'll see if he was.
False start. Offense, number 60.
There it is.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
The big German.
Right. And earlier I mentioned how a defensive lineman jumps offside when he has a feel that the team will hard count him. Well, the same thing happens on offense. You come out there, you have 2 plays called, we were talking about. But as soon as you hear the check, you jump off sides.
So Martin with a big third down now, and he's got his man. Great catch by Ojo, who's been criticized for a few drops, but that was a very important catch.
Yeah, Ojo did a good job of hauling that ball in, and I tell you what, Martin did an excellent job of just staying in the pocket and delivering that football.
16.
Don't forget, with the 2-point conversion, there's still only 2 scores adrift. They could still tie it up with 2 scores. Robertson just has nothing out of this game. I don't think he's going to look back at World Bowl 10 with any great delight, Jamal Robertson.
Well, you talked to him early in the week, and he had, I won't call them delusions because, you know, he's been doing it all year, but he felt that in order for this team to go, that he had to be able to run the ball, and you love that kind of confidence. But they haven't got a running game going. But I tell you what, they're doing a decent job moving the ball with the passing game right now because Berlin, I don't know if it's confusion or their big bodies that they're using against them, but they definitely have had some success in the passing game.
Can they get it again here on 2nd down? Martin with plenty of time can't quite find his man. It took a bounce. Or are they ruling
Is it a catch? Oh, good. And you hear them working the ref.
Yeah,
good call, ref.
It's a catch.
You can always tell when they're yelling good call ref out there. I guarantee it's the offensive team that's yelling that out there.
And I tell you what, Jimmy Robinson must have made a heck of a play because that looked like it was underthrown. Mike Jones, the offensive coordinator, sent it in the play.
If you're in the NFL, you hurry up, Nick, and run a play if this was during the league.
Yeah, no instant replay here. It stands up. 1st down and goal for the Rhein Fire. Martin looks, got his man.
What a
touchdown, Scott Cloman. And we've got a ball game now.
A heck of a catch, and a heck of an execution by T. Martin. We said it earlier, Nick, you cannot count a winner out of a football game, and everyone talked about T. Martin's stats, and he just hasn't delivered the ball the way he has in the past, and he doesn't have the passing arm and throwing it all the way up and down the line. But you know what? This is a championship game, Nick, with a guy that has been a champion before at the college level. And because of that, you can't count him out as an attempt right now to go for 2 points. You pointed that out earlier, Nick.
Well, if they do it, it's 1 score.
Exactly.
If they can convert this, it's 1 score. And a team that's been on its knees for 3/4 of this ball game could be right back in it with plenty of time.
Watch the slants here.
Martin.
There's a slant right there.
He's got a lot of time, but he hasn't got a man. It was well defended by Sam Young, who just got a hand up and tipped it away. But nevertheless, it's now a 10-point game with 10:40 left. World Bowl 10 alive. Well, at halftime, World Bowl 10 looked like a procession. Berlin 20 points to the good, but Scott Cloman's touchdown a few moments ago has reduced that deficit to 10. And we have a game going on here. Witschak with the kick. Ramondo North fields at his own 6-yard line. They got a good return last time after the touchdown, and they've got a pretty decent one there to the 38-yard line. Good special teams hustle from the Berlin Thunder. So Peter Vass sends out Todd Husak, knowing that this team still has plenty of work to do before they retain their title. Back in Dusseldorf, World Bowl 10, the picture has changed. Scott Husak feels some pressure, gets it away, finds his bread and butter receiver once again. Dane Looker takes the immediate pressure off. 1st down, Berlin.
And Husak bought time just a while ago just by double clutching and keeping the defender off him. You're going to see here the drop, and right away he's getting the protection that's necessary. Man comes off a corner. You're told never to jump. Run right through that quarterback because he'll double clutch you, which Husak does, buys time. Looker comes open, completed pass.
Vital for the Rhein Fire to make a defensive stand here. On the ground, Anthony White looks for somewhere to go. Turns the corner and will be close to 1st down, depending on where they say went out of bounds. And a flag comes in on the sidelines now as the big fella from the right line, Brandon Miller, got in the middle of that, number 93, which shows you what kind of hassle he made, the defensive tackle, making a play on the sideline. But was it illegal? Was it number 93? Somebody's committed a personal foul on the Rhein Fire side, and that's a costly one.
Yeah, well, a scrum happened on the sideline there. There was a massive humanities on the sideline.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Late hit out of bounds. Number 93 on the defense.
It is Brandon Miller.
15-yard penalty. Air stay. Spurs suit.
There's one thing I'd like to get changed in the NFL, and that's the 15-yard penalty on the sideline. Just like they have a 5-yard face mask and a 50-yard face mask, there are things that happen in the flow of the game. You don't hear every single whistle, and you're taught to play to the echo of the whistle. And sometimes when you're on that sideline and things that happen, you don't hear it. That was not a dirty play. It was a late play, and it should have been, you know, the rule is you get penalized 15, but they should change that rule.
So first down at the 30. Play action. Cusack pursued by Aaron Humphrey. Gets rid of it. No one there. Incomplete. Second down and 10.
Now you're talking about 2 plays and penalties, and that's been the story of this drive right here. And you know you're German, don't you? I'm leaving that to you. I don't know any of
What's
this.
the referee? Schiedsrichter?
Schiedsrichter. I know this one. This is the one I know right here. I'm good at
Ball,
that one.
yeah.
I know that one.
Strafe. I didn't know strafe meant that. Probably strafe.
I just put a
Strafe.
T right there, and I'm good at that one too.
Well, I understand the language of football. And right now, I know that the
you're
fire
these guys right
needs
here, though, Nick, they have got to start playing. They've got to get pressure, pressure, pressure.
They got Looker again, and Looker is flattened at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be third down and long.
Yeah, your defensive line now, I said the strength of this defense is their secondary. But in the fourth quarter of a game, you're down 2 scores. Your defensive line has to step up. You know, you have to create pressure. You have to get hits on the quarterback, which is hard to do when you really haven't been doing much of that the entire game. How do you turn it on now? Well, someone has to look at someone else, and it can't be Joe, because there's no Joe in that defense. You've got to find it within yourself right now to make a play, because you need it. This is for the championship.
Third and long. Cusack can't find Kenny Christian. So the field goal unit will be out, and Boyd, who's been good from 48 and 45, this will be a relative chip shot for him. And if he makes it, that lead will be up to 13.
You know, see, Christian is a man in the slot. Looker is a man deep. They're both covered. They're both covered.
39 yards officially.
Oh,
It's on its way. They came after it, but he's nailed another one. He's been faultless in the biggest game of his career, Danny Boyd. And so, with 8 minutes left in the ball game, it's 26-13. The crowd tonight, 53,109, the second biggest World Bowl attendance ever. The biggest still remains the inaugural one back in 1991. The London Monarchs against the Barcelona Dragons. 61,108 attended Wembley Stadium 11 years ago.
you were there, weren't you, Nick?
I was there. The game wasn't as good as this one, though, I tell you. And what a run back from Jamal Robertson. They stopped him on the ground, but he makes a play on special teams and is still going. Terrific effort. And to go back to what you said, Sean, they will just not quit, this Fire team.
They won't quit. You talked to Robertson during the week. He said, just get me the ball any way possible. I'm going to make plays for you. You like a guy that talks a lot, but guess what? You like a guy that backs it up, too. And Robertson on that play definitely backed it up. Nice run. And called on to duty, Nick, when, you know, when a guy goes down,
yeah.
Austin goes down and he steps up, but showing his ability to just break through, break tackles, and then make guys miss. You have to love his ability to make guys miss. And sizing up the kicker, he should have attacked the kicker.
Now here's Martin. Oh, incomplete. He had Cloman open and couldn't find him. And that ball just sails harmlessly into the end zone. But it's a measure of where this Fire offense is, that Robertson, when the offense is out, is on the sidelines. It's not a running game now with time running out. They got to throw that football. And there is Corey Alston on crutches supporting his team. They really have hung together as a unit,
They've hung together as a unit. And you talk about sudden change. I've said it time and time again. Sudden change. Something just changed. Take advantage of it. This Rhein Fire offense has to take advantage of this situation.
Martin on second down trying to do just that. Got a man. It's Oye Ojo, the Nigerian running back, who picks up 10 yards. They just keep coming.
And what was great about that play, Ojo was blocking for Ojo. No relation.
The only 2 Ojos in NFL Europe, and they were on the same play.
Oh yeah, Ojo, and just called the other one just Ojo.
Onome Ojo.
Just Ojo.
First down. Martin Rolling out to his left. Looking, tossing it up. He's got a man. Oh, brilliantly defended by Leland Brickus.
Oh, I tell you what, that was just two good plays. Martin putting the right English that he needed to put on the ball to loft it up there, and then Brickus just recovering and making a heck of a play on the ball. Martin's going to buy time with his feet, as he does very often, and putting the right English on the ball to loft it over, but Brickus just comes out of nowhere and just taps the ball away. Good thinking by Martin, but better play by Brickus.
The German national Leland Brickus, who's had a tremendous end of season. 3 interceptions in the last 3 games. That was possibly the biggest play of the season for him. Now Martin will look again on second down. He rolls the other way this time. And again, he can't find a man. He was looking for David Newman, the tight end, and that ball sails harmlessly into the end zone, incomplete.
Now, you're down by two scores, so 2 touchdowns actually, and so this is 2-down territory. You've got to go on 3rd down. You've got to go on 4th down. No need to go for a field goal. But Newman on that last play has to come down with that ball. You know, that's a ball where you can come down with that ball.
3rd down and 10. As Sean said, it's 2-down territory here. They need to get it inside the 6. He's got time, Martin, and it's incomplete. And he had Onome Ojo running a slant and couldn't find him. And that's why Mike Jones.
Go levels again. They're giving you the inside guy.
And the guy was there.
No post, no post.
And now it's 4th down. And now Martin really has to step up. They need 10. 4th down. Martin steps up. He's going to try and run for it himself. He's got to get to the 6. Now, where are they going to spot that? He's short.
Oh,
he's short.
Oh, that's one of those back feet, front feet type of thing. The front foot type of thing. It's either the back foot or the front foot. If it's the front foot, Nick, he's got a 1st down. If it's the back foot, and it looks like it's the back foot.
They're not even going to measure it.
No.
Blue 10.
Yeah.
It's a bit reminiscent of that Super Bowl play, wasn't it? The Tennessee Titans.
You got to wonder how much that hit that he took earlier, how much that played into that, you know, not really just tossing your body all over the place to try to get that 1st down.
He's made his mistakes tonight, but he's not a quitter. And these guys are starting to celebrate. A little bit early for that, guys. There's 5 minutes left. Cusack gives it to White. White is nailed by Brandon Miller. And that ball, I thought it had popped out for a moment.
I thought it popped out too, Nick, and we've said it before. We'll just keep driving the point home. If you think the Rhein Fire is just going to pack up their bags and go home, you haven't been watching them all season, because there's some resilient guys. You're going to see it. The pressure is going to come up the field. Once again, we talk about running play and defending the run. The ball did come out, Nick. Good call. The ball did come out, and Miller just could not haul that ball in, but good defensive play up the field, and that's what we're talking about. You got to start tackling the ball at this point.
And looking at that Thunder sideline, they all stopped celebrating and they're focused again.
We got movement.
Flags. The hard count caught him again, did it? There's certainly a couple of guys flinched.
Now, this is one they could very easily call on Cusack, because you want to keep your head steady when you're doing that head bob. They seldom call it on the quarterback, but I always hated when he was able to get away with that stuff and draw us offside. You always hate plays where they get you on it. You know, you just hate that. Knowing that it's well within the record, within the rule books.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 93. Moving into the neutral zone.
Brandon Miller, he just makes a big play.
The offensive lineman.
And when you do that,
penalty still, 2nd down.
when you jump off sides like that, you got to start pointing right away. You know, point right away before, like, the refs can't see what's going on.
White 30. White 30. Hut.
There it is. That's what drew him.
See, it was just a hut. You know, no head movement at all, but you got to complain to the ref that he's moving his head anyhow. Got to lie. If you ain't cheating, you're not trying at this point, Nick.
2nd down. They'll stay on. No, they won't. Play action. Nice play to Dane Looker. They got everybody thinking they're going to run it again just to play safe, and Looker picks up 6 more yards.
Good job by Peter Voss and that offense of keeping you off balance, because definitely you thought that you were going to do the safe and conservative thing, just run the football, give you play action pass, come out with the naked play that they ran early in the game with success, and once again it was successful.
Dane Looker, what a game he's had. He had 12 catches the last time these two teams met.
55, Thursday, set.
This is going to be a hard count here, Thursday.
They didn't fall for it this time, and Husak will throw, and he's got his man, Kwame Cavill, the man who joined the team on Tuesday from the Scottish Claymores, makes his first and possibly only catch for the Thunder, and it might have just won his team the World Bowl.
That was a heck of a call by them. They call a fade on that play, and they were holding Kwame Cavill and just could not get him. Here he comes right here. He's going to run the route, and the reason why he runs the route in here is to buy him room to the sideline. The purpose of that route is not to run the route inside, but to buy you some room on the sideline to run the fade. You see all the room over here that he has in hauling that ball in after the defender tried to hold him.
Well, Peter Voss, when I talked to him yesterday, he said, this guy's going to make some plays for me. He's a good receiver.
Kwame Cavill has to be happy to be here.
First down. Now Anthony White exploits a seam and will pick up 6 yards, and you can see the Rhein Fire deflating after that big catch from Cavill. They thought they had him, and then Cavill got him out of jail.
Charge timeout, Ryan. This is a 30-second timeout.
This is the second half, and we're talking about it again, where your worst enemy right now is the clock, because all Berlin has to do at this point is just continue to grind out the ball, grind out the ball, grind out the ball. And if you stop their running game, then just throw the short passing game. You just want to keep the clock rolling. And the next thing you know, you use up all your timeouts, and it's just putting the knee down, the game's over. So unless you can get the ball out from the sideline now, from Berlin's sideline, what you're hearing is tackle the football. That means wherever the football is, let's get a hand on the point of the ball and try to rip that ball out as best we can, create a turnover. And you're over in Berlin's side, you're covering that ball up with everything you have. You cannot, afford to turn the ball over at this point.
Left, M25 on 101.
Yeah, I mean, the only person that doesn't know that a running play is coming right now is 55. Someone that's not watching, because you're going to try to just run this clock out.
Second down and 4. There's White. He's brought up short, but he only got a couple, and we're inside 3 minutes now. And the Berlin Thunder, who went 0-3, they were dead and buried. No team had ever gone to the World Bowl after an 0-2 start, never mind 0-3. But Peter Voss said, I still believe in this team. More importantly, the players believed in themselves. And look at that. They're close to a World Bowl, retaining their World Bowl. And that offensive line has been underrated.
They've done a good job in protecting Husak, and sure, the scheme with the 3- and 5-step drops, that's helped. But they've done a staunch job in terms of defending their quarterback.
Tim Johnson was all over the line there, number 54, just desperate to make a play.
Now, see, I don't like when you see the pointing just on one side. They got to start pointing on the Rhein side to, let the refs know that.
Offense, number 82.
Well, they got it.
They got it.
They got one.
They're working the refs. That's what I'm saying. You got to start pointing and let the refs know that it goes both ways. And the reason that one's called there is that the defender that jumped off sides was outside of the tight end. So he was not a part of drawing him offside. Were he on over his head, then it would have said that his impetus caused him to jump offside, but he was outside.
So instead of 3rd and 1, 3rd and 6. Will they be conservative here? Will they try and move the chains once again and really kill this game? They go on the ground.
Yeah, Johnson
is chopped down. And chopped down big time by Greg Brown. Mao Tuiteli in there as well. And the punting unit on for Berlin.
Now, if you're T. Martin sitting on that sideline, this is what you've asked for. You heard him talking about it at the end of the half, how they could not stop him.
Third and final timeout, Ryan.
Yeah, they couldn't stop him in 2-minute offense. Well, guess what, fellas? You're about to be in 2-minute offense, and let's see what you can do with it, because this is what you've been asking for. The thing about quarterbacks in the league, they say you don't earn your pelts. You don't earn that sheepskin until you have those fourth quarter comebacks. They measure quarterbacks by how many fourth quarter comebacks you have. All right, T. Martin, if you're T. Martin and people are questioning your ability to go vertical with the football, hey, everybody in the stadium knows that you're going to be in 2-minute offense. And how do you manage the clock, which is probably more important, Nick, than anything else. It's wonderful to be throwing the ball down the middle of the field, but guess what? The clock keeps going when you throw the ball down the middle of the field. So you have to find a way to manage the clock properly while still moving the chains.
Well, the celebration is going to begin soon for one team or another. Right now, it's looking Berlin's game to lose, and there was movement at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Keith Adams, number 43, that just sort of flinched back, and then the flags came in.
False start. Offense, number 43. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Peter Vass won't be doing any celebrating yet. He's been around this business long enough to know that this is not an unassailable position yet. If Jordan Younger can get hold of this and rip off another return, a punt return, then those beers might have to be put on ice. They came after it, and they managed to put the punter off sufficiently for him to come up with the worst punt of the ball game so far. Brian Morton felt that pressure, and his punt sailed out at the 33-yard line. Well, the 30-yard line, they're spotting it now, and this is you and me later on.
Only in
fact, why can't they send these guys up here now?
You're walking around with a backpack with beer in it. The next thing you know, you're going to see someone doing body shots. Oh, goodness.
And all we've got up here, Sean, is water. But we don't drink while we're working.
We don't, you know, the beverage of our choice is water.
Water. T. Martin over the middle. Tony Taylor. Nothing doing. Dwayne Stukes read him all the way. And we have reached the 2-minute warning in World Bowl 10 with the Rhein Fire hanging on. But the Berlin Thunder 13 points to the good and looking very good. It's what everyone who plays in NFL Europe wants to lift. That 41-pound ball of crystal that says you're the World Bowl champions. Last year, it was the Berlin Thunder that raised it. The Rhein Fire have raised it twice before. They were hoping for a third time lucky and a way to say goodbye to the stadium that's been their home since the franchise was born in 1995. It looks like Peter Vass has spoiled that particular party.
Well, you know what? We've had a lot of fun with this game, and it's been exciting. But that's what it's all about. Hoisting that trophy at the end. I had a chance to do it in Green Bay and becoming a champion. They can take a lot of things away from you, Nick, but once you're a world champion in anything, they can't take it away from you.
Martin going for Robinson again, and he's made the catch. What a play.
Wow. Just when you try to count a guy like T. Martin out, he pulls a play like that, looking down a gun barrel, defender right down his face, and making a play like that. And Robinson doing a great job of hauling it in their 2-minute offense. Maybe T. Martin was right. You see the pass, you see the catch. He said they can't stop us in 2-minute offense, Nick, and they're doing a good job in that 2-minute offense.
They just won't go away, the Rhein Fire. Can Martin conjure up another one? No. Taylor, short. The only good thing about that was it stops the clock, which is down to 1:24. They need a quick strike. They need an extra. They need an onside kick. It's asking a lot, but they're still fighting.
Absolutely. In 2-minute offense, that means you're going to basically see guys just huddling up or calling multiple plays and running the plays. But what you're also going to see is they're not going to give you anything on the sidelines, because the sideline means that you're going to be out of bounds. They're going to give you everything right down the middle here, right down the middle.
Martin loses the football, and he manages to recover it. That was nearly game over right there.
And it's just what we're talking about. You're not going to get the sideline to stop the clock. They're going to give you, run it if you want to, you know, throw the pass up the middle. But we're not going to give you anything on the sideline. We're on the defensive side of the ball.
Got to think end zone from here, surely. He's got a man, Kloman, who gets to the 11-yard line. They've got to get up in a hurry. We're inside a minute. Hardly anyone has left this stadium, Sean. It's been a fantastic performance and a turnout from these Fire fans. And now they've spiked the ball to stop the clock. 40 seconds left. They need a miracle.
All right, but they need to have more of a sense of urgency. There's 40 seconds, like you mentioned, and you need 2 scores.
Scott Kloman. He was down at the 1-yard line.
On the ball, quarterback.
You just got a quarterback sneak this. They're going to be so tired of the defensive line. Quarterback sneak this right in the end zone.
Martin takes it. Touchdown, Rhein Fire.
Down a score with less than 30 seconds to play, the Fire knew they'd have to attempt an onside kick against a Berlin special teams that was seemingly prepared.
You want this? All right, hey, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to onside kick it. What do we got to do? What do we got to do? We got to get the ball. Let's just get the football, man. Get the ball and protect it. Protect it. Here we go. Let's go.
With only 20 seconds to play, Rhein's World Bowl hopes rested on the foot of kicker Jason Witzak.
And looks like Rhein recovered.
Yep.
That's the signal.
Well, they didn't get the big bounce, but it laid on the ground.
Well, maybe that's what fooled Berlin.
Rather than bouncing high into the air, Witzak's kick stayed low on the field, surprising Berlin's onside unit and giving the Fire a final chance to win the game.
Going to put it up in the air, 19 ticks. Chance for a couple of plays.
And no timeouts. Martin being pressured, brought down for the sack.
With time expiring, Rhein's World Bowl hopes rested on the game's final play.
Well, the officials signal for the clock to be stopped, probably because they were holding him down, but they reset it here. 2 seconds left. This will be the final play. Martin just gets rid of it, but he's brought down for the sack officially to end it, and the Berlin Thunder are World Bowl 10 champions again.
Back to back. First time in history. What's up, baby? We got that ring now. They said it couldn't be done. We did it. Give it to me. Thunder. Boomaye. Thunder. Boomaye. Thunder. Boomaye. Thunder. Boomaye. That's what it's all about, baby. Yeah. America, France, Germany, wherever you're from, baby. Come play some good football. That's what it's about.
Starting 0-3, Berlin, led by World Bowl MVP Dane Looker, shocked the league by becoming the first team to recover from such a poor start and win back-to-back championships. NFL Europe